College football is back. A spectacularly sunny Saturday here in San Luis Obispo, California for a bi-coastal bout between two teams aiming for the FCS playoffs here in 2017. The Colgate Raiders have traveled nearly 2,500 miles from central New York here to central California on the coast to battle the Cal Poly Mustangs. 81 degrees and sunny. With former Fresno State head coach Pat Hill, I'm Paul Leffler, and a beautiful, beautiful day today with some significant talent on the field, Coach. Some of the top playmakers in all of the FCS will be going toe-to-toe today here in San Luis Obispo.
Well, I'll tell you what, both teams have outstanding running backs. Holland for Colgate and Prothro for Cal Poly, and then on defense, B.J. Nard, the safety, is going to be involved in that option game, and Pat Afriye. Something very, very special. I think he's going to go to the next level. This guy's a special football player.
Keep your eyes on number 37 when Colgate is on defense, and Prothro, a preseason All-American, just like Afriye, on the Cal Poly side of things. The opening coin toss won by Cal Poly, the Mustangs deferring possession to the second half. So the Colgate Raiders, under fourth-year head coach Dan Hunt, will receive the opening kick in the south end zone here at Mustang Memorial Field at Alex G. Spanos Stadium in San Luis Obispo. Kicking off for the Mustangs, that young man out of Redondo Beach, California, Casey Sublette.
We got to look at Abu Darami Sway. Is that how you say that?
Abu Darami Soiree on the left of your screen there, a very dangerous return man.
Number 4, I'll tell you what, watching them practice the other day, I think he's the best athlete on the Colgate football team, and he's only a sophomore and led in categories in kickoff returns and punt returns in the Patriot League last year. A very good return man.
Patriot League Rookie of the Year last year, a freshman All-American. Almost had a kick return for a touchdown, went out at the 1-yard line against Richmond, and we'll see what he does here under sunny skies along the central California coast.
Yeah, they're basing their kickoff based on the walk back from the kicker, and they're hoping it goes to number 4.
So the Raiders with their first chance at 2017 from the south end zone right on the goal line. Abu Darami Soiree trying to find some room, but the Mustangs cut him down at the 15-yard line.
Outstanding coverage right there by Cal Poly, their coverage teams. You can tell a lot about a football team by the way they cover kicks, and that was great coverage. Anytime you stop somebody inside the 20, that is big-time coverage.
Charlie Davis, one of the Mustangs' starting linebackers, making that special teams tackle, and here come the Raiders. A quarterback making his Division I debut, Carmine Scarfone, the sophomore from Parkland, Florida. One thing Coach Dan Hunt says about him, Coach, he's very, very fast.
Good athlete. Not real big, not a real strong arm, but an outstanding athlete, and he has to call everything for this offense.
And he's glad to have James Holland Jr. back in the backfield with him, but he's met in the backfield and taken down for a loss by the big nose man, Fino Ilasaya of Cal Poly.
I'll tell you what, they were worried about him all week. Big number 99 in the middle for Cal Poly. Gets great penetration there and makes the play in the backfield. And now we got Colgate is behind the chains, and that's not where Colgate wants to be in this type of offense.
We're looking at Darren Ajay as well, the senior linebacker from Bakersfield, California, who had a piece of that. Now Scarfone on 2nd and 11 from his own 15-yard line out of the gun. And his first pass in college deflected but completed. And the Colgate Raiders' first career catch for Brett Gazarowski to move the chains for Colgate.
Well, that was one of their pass run options. They saw the inside backer. That's who they were reading. Inside backer play the inside zone play, and they threw outside into a big hole.
R.J. Mazalewski got a little finger on it, but he did not deny Gazarowski his first career catch. A first down for the Raiders, 1st and 10 from their own 28.
They're making an option call at the line of scrimmage. They check it every time. They can read anywhere down the line of scrimmage.
Blitz coming. He gets rid of it, and Holland can't hang on. 2nd and 10 for Colgate.
You can see there Carmine just a little bit too much on that ball. A little bit softer touch. He's got pressure coming. He's throwing into the pressure and trying to get the ball completed.
Well, and 2 passes on the first possession. Did you expect that with these two teams?
Well, right there, you know, he saw the blitz coming from the outside, and he had the right play on. He's just got to make the completion.
Two teams that love to run the football, 2 physical squads from opposite sides of the country. 2nd and 10 for Scarfone and the Raiders. And here's Holland again. The power back trying to find some room, and he's smothered down for no gain. San Luis Obispo's own Jack Ferguson, the hometown kid with the long hair, making that stop.
Well, you know, talking to Coach Young, the offensive coordinator for Colgate before the game, they really feared the size up front of Cal Poly. You know, those two big guys inside, Elsai and Ferguson, and Melancani. Those are big people up front, and they were really worried about working the inside run against them.
3rd and long for Scarfone and the Raiders. And here's Holland again, finding some room, trying to pick up that first down, and he does. James Holland Jr., the junior, stopped by Jack Ferguson, but he's all the way out to that 42-yard line.
They got misdirection here. They got a little counterplay going, so they got a little misdirection, got Cal Poly's linebackers running, did a really good job blocking it, pulling the backside players, and getting up inside for a big gain.
A gain of 13, a new set of downs for the Raiders as you see James Holland Jr. checking out. Had that knee injury that kept him out almost all of last year, and he's out for this possession, replaced by the sophomore Alex Matthews, at least for this play. Scarfone play action, throwing on the run, and complete on the sideline. Owen Rocket, the junior out of Marblehead, Massachusetts, just short of a first down across midfield.
Once again, you got a field blitz coming. And into the field blitz, last time he'd thrown the quick swing pass. This time he throws a nice little out route with nobody underneath it because of the blitz, man-to-man. Good call by the quarterback.
Owen Rocket had 5 touchdown catches last year as a sophomore, one of their more frequently targeted receivers, and a guy who Coach Dan Hunt says is faster than he looks. With a name like Rocket, no surprise. Here's Scarfone on 2nd and 1 across midfield now in Mustang territory. Going to air it out again, pressured on the sideline. A lot of contact, catch made, no flags yet. Inside the 20 is Nick Martinson, the big tight end for Colgate.
Yeah, there was a lot of bumping and grinding going down that sideline, but no harm, no foul. Both guys were competing for the football. That ball was just thrown up. It was an underthrown ball, and Martinson does a great job going up on an underthrown ball and come back making that play.
Ferguson got a good shot on the quarterback, but Martinson just tossing Dominic Frash out of the way and hauling it in for a gain of 31. 1st and 10 in the red zone now for the Raiders from upstate New York. And this time met in the backfield and taken down. It is Leroy Mielencone on that stop. James Holland Jr. denied, 2nd and long.
I'll tell you what, Colgate's going to have to work on that offensive line play up front. So far, the run game, except for the counter, has been very limited on straight-ahead dive plays, option plays with the dive back. Colgate's been getting physically handled up front by that Cal Poly front.
Loss of 4 yards on the play, 2nd and 14 for the Raiders. They started this drive at their own 15-yard line out here in California. Carmine Scarfone, another completion to the sideline, caught inbounds inside the 15 by Thomas Ives, the experienced 6'5 junior.
They were running a smash route into the sideline with a quick flat and a corner behind it. That was a very tight throw right there, good coverage. The corner route was starting to open up above it.
Carmine Scarfone. First chance to play college football. Boy, has he been accurate throwing the football.
He's doing a heck of a job. As right now, except for that one counter play, the run game has been completely shut down.
Crucial 3rd down in the red zone here, though, for the Raiders. 3rd and 3. Holland again, straight ahead, close to a first down, but it looks like the Mustangs have him stopped short.
Well, when you play against Cal Poly or against Colgate's defense, both these teams are used to seeing the option, and they know how to play the option. So this will be a chess game. There'll be a lot of adjustments that need to be made during the course of this football game. But that's a good stop right there on 4th down, and Colgate's going to settle for a field goal here early in this football game.
4th and 1 from inside the 10, and the Raiders will line up for the field goal. It'll be the first career attempt for the sophomore from Orwigsburg, Pennsylvania, Chris Puzzy. Out of the hold of Josh Serra, the junior punter. The straight-on kick for Puzzy, plenty of leg, and straight through. The Raiders came 2,500 miles, Coach, and they're on the board first.
Well, it was a good controlled drive, almost 5 minutes. It was a good job, and Puzzy comes in and kicks his first field goal.
3-0 Colgate here in San Luis Obispo, California. A beautiful Saturday here. Obispo Colgate, a 3-0 lead with former Fresno State head coach Pat Hill. I'm Paul Leffler, and Pat, You're famous for saying you'd play anybody, anytime, anywhere. And you also said, shut up and hit somebody. So I think this is your kind of physical football game.
Well, we're going to see that type of game today. We've got two physical football teams. They preach physicality. Their offenses preach physicality. Today, somebody's going to have to give it one way or the other. We got two great running backs, but we got two new quarterbacks. So it's going to be interesting to see which team can hold up the best in the trenches.
We saw Carmine Scarfone lead Dan Hunt's Raiders down for 3 points. Now that guy, Tim Walsh, wants to see what Khalil Jenkins can do in his second career start. Started one game as a true freshman 2 years ago. Had to wait until the season opener here in 2017 to do it again. Tim Walsh, 62 years old, his 9th year as the head coach, and a one-time college football teammate of the one and only Pat Hill.
Yeah, he was a freshman when I was a senior. Tim's done a great job. He did an outstanding job at Portland State. And here at Cal Poly, he's done a great job at this school, and what a fine university this is.
Puzzy just made the field goal, now showing his leg strength on the kick. Kyle Lewis has to field it 7 yards deep is in his end zone and take a knee. It's a good thing for the Raiders because Lewis is very dangerous, and you're going to see plenty of them as the Mustangs take the field on offense. Here in San Luis Obispo, a natural grass surface. Colgate's not used to playing on that, but it sure didn't look like the Raiders minded this blue sky and sunshine.
No, it's beautiful, and the field's in good shape. It's closely cut. It's a fast field, and you know, Carmine, he got off to a great start. You know, the quarterback from Colgate. Now we'll see what Jenkins can do with Cal Poly. He started one game 2 years ago, but this is really his first official start with his football team right here in 2017. Let's see what he's got.
Coach Tim Walsh says Jenkins, the San Diego native, has all the tools. Doesn't want him to try to do too much today in his first start of the year with Joe Prothro, the All-American, right behind him. The give to Prothro straight ahead, and the Mustangs held to just a couple on that first down carry. It'll be 2nd and 8 from the 27 after John Steffen, the junior defensive end, cut down Prothro.
Well, talking to Paul Schaffner, you know, yesterday at practice when I was over watching Colgate work out, number one thing they had to do was slow down number 5. They had to be disciplined with their eyes. And, you know, they have to do their 1/11th every down and third, get them behind the chains.
Again under center, Jenkins this time fakes the handoff, gives the pitch to Lewis, and here's that speed. A big shot on the sideline, but Lewis has a first down out to the 36-yard line.
Well, they came outside and they faked a dive inside. Quick pitch by the quarterback. They really fast played the quarterback. Great pitch there by Jenkins. And I'll tell you what, number 4, Kyle Lewis, he got the ball and turned the edge quickly.
But Ben Hunt was flying in like a missile to blast him out of bounds. 1st and 10 for the Mustangs from their own 36.
Yeah, Colgate's playing that 3-4 defense. We'll probably be seeing some outside veer, just like right there.
Throw again, picks up 5 on the first down carry to the 41 of the Mustangs. The other thing you saw in that play by Lewis, Pat, was the nice block by the redshirt freshman Chuby Danu out of Clovis, California, playing his first time as a Mustang.
Well, when you run the option, you got to be great on the perimeter as blockers. Catching is important, but in these types of offense, with Colgate and Cal Poly, you got to block on the perimeter.
2nd and 5, another give to Prothro, and the big back carrying tacklers with him for 3 more to the 44. It'll be 3rd and 2. Chuck Moore on the stop for Colgate. But Prothro, Pat, is a load at 6 feet, 230 pounds. He's one of the reasons Cal Poly was number 1 in the FCS in the regular season last year in rushing.
That's true. He played for Tim Murphy up at Clayton High School. Outstanding running back, and he played in that real close sniffer eye position at Clayton Valley.
Home of the Ugly Eagles. That's the real nickname. Going for the first down here, and it appears the Mustangs have it. They have not put the ball in the air yet. They won't if they don't need to, as Prothro moves the chains.
Just like Coach Schaffner said, you've got to stop number 5, and so far you cannot give the ball to number 5 and give up 3, 4, and 5 yards a crack, or they'll just keep running it down the field on you.
Now Khalil Jenkins drops back in the shotgun. 1st and 10 from the Mustang 47. First pass for Khalil Jenkins, and it's complete across midfield. J.J. Koski, the sophomore, hauling it in at the 48 of Colgate. Another 5-yard first down pickup for the Mustangs.
Well, you just had a real soft corner play, and they just took the quick hitch. Quarterback probably checked it at the line of scrimmage. If they're going to give you that much yardage, just throw the quick hitch and get yourself 5 yards.
Back up under center now is Jenkins with Prothro behind him. The give to the fullback again, this time met in the hole, and he still picks up 3. Caleb Fell, the junior nose guard, hanging on for that one.
Very physical front by Cal Poly, but I'll tell you what, that Colgate line, it's going to be punishing inside. Number 5, Prothro, he takes a pounding every game. He must be a very, very strong young man.
Third and a long 2 for a team that was third in the nation last year in third down efficiency, converting 54% of the time. Danou motions back. The give to Prothro, and there's another pounding first down for this Mustang juggernaut. 1st and 10, Cal Poly from the Colgate 41. TJ Hall on that stop.
Well, they're 100% right now. So, you know, Colgate right now has got to make a play on first down. They've got to make a stop. Once again, you're seeing the corners play very, very soft. They're playing one high safety. The corners are soft. That quick hitch is there anytime you want it.
Out of the gun again, Jenkins, this time the handoff. Danou, first career carry. And he's got a gain down to the 37-yard line. Pickup of 4 for Cal Poly redshirt freshman Chubi Danou.
Well, you can see right now that the size of the Cal Poly offensive defensive lines could be a factor in this game. Colgate moved the ball down the field to the air, but they weren't able to run the ball very efficiently. Right now, the Cal Poly offensive line is having their way with the Colgate front.
That's Tyler Wisenhunt, the right guard you're looking at. Right next to him, Joey Cooperman, the all-conference pick. And this time, Joe's only able to gain 3. So it's about his average so far. He's down to the 34-yard line. Yet another 3rd and short for the Mustangs. This is exactly the kind of clip that Tim Walsh wants to display.
Exactly, and they're almost coming up on the 5-minute mark. Both teams are ball control teams. Colgate had the ball for 5 minutes, and now Cal Poly's coming up on 5 minutes. Paul, this is going to be a very fast game. The sun's still going to be set up for us. We played a lot of games where it's dark by the time it's over.
Cal Poly averaged 33.5 minutes of possession per game last year on a playoff team. This time the option for Jenkins, grabbed from behind by Afriye, and finally the Colgate All-American able to make a play, takes him down from behind, forcing 4th and 4 for Cal Poly.
Well, one thing Coach Walsh talked about was finding out where number 37 was and going away from him. That time they ran speed option right at him. It was a 2-man option. Afriye slow played inside on the quarterback and fought it back outside. Great play by Afriye. Now he's to the wide side of the field, so he's going to be moving here today, and Cal Poly's got to keep an eye on where he is. 4th down, they're going for it.
4th and a long 3. They converted 65% of their 4th downs last year. They had 20 4th down conversions, did the Mustangs. Jenkins, the give, Prothro bounces off one, fighting for it, and Prothro denied by the Colgate D.
That's a big stop right there.
So Colgate comes all the way out to the West Coast, puts 3 points on the board, and then finally, after giving up most of the field to the Mustangs, comes up big on D.
Well, that's a big stop right there for Colgate, stopping that drive. You know, you got him in a 4th down situation. Afriye once again, they're running that speed option at him. He makes a great play to put it in a 4th and you know third situation, and then they come up and make the stop on 4th down. It's outstanding play by Colgate. You know, the bend but don't break defense.
So Colgate leading 3-0. The Mustangs back on defense when we come back to San Luis Obispo. College football is back.
And college football, brought to you by the all-new Volkswagen Tiguan, the new king of the concrete jungle, and the DQ Blizzard. Now buy one Blizzard and get another for just 99 cents.
That P was for Poly. It might also be for Power Football. That's what both of these squads are playing. Dan Hunt, 4th year as the head coach at Colgate. The 48-year-old was an assistant for the entire tenure of the great Dick Biddle, who had the Raiders 1 game away from a national championship back in 2003. I'll have Pat Hill chime in on Coach Hunt in a moment. The Raiders starting out 1st and 10 from their own 32. Scarfone to throw again. Dumps it out. Martinson undercut at the 35-yard line. A gain of 3. Nice stop by B.J. Nard, your impact player.
Well, the interesting thing about that play, that's an option there. They were optioning the outside linebacker to the side that throw was made. The inside linebacker stepped inside on the run, and they threw outside to the receiver in the flat. There was nobody there.
Carmine Scarfone has to deal with B.J. Nard like the rest of the Raiders do, but Scarfone in his college debut, 5 of 6 throwing the football so far. 2nd and 7 for the Raiders here from their own 35. Here comes the pressure. Scarfone lost the football. It's loose.
Cal Poly, I think, has it.
Yeah, looks like Colgate might hang on to it. Recovered by Javon Wolford, the right tackle, but boy, was Leroy Mielencone in there in a hurry.
Well, the last 2 times they've had those field pressures, they had the swing pass that was incomplete and the sideline pass that they completed. That time Scarfone did not see the pressure and did not check into it. So that time it was a mental mistake, I think, on the part of the quarterback, and he took the sack and almost lost the football.
And a missed opportunity for the Mustangs, who could have had that ball, but Wolford came up to it. Now 3rd and 15 for the Raiders. Scarfone looking on the run. Pressure, gets rid of it, and dropped along the sideline, incomplete. The Raiders will have to punt the football away. R.J. Mazalewski brought the pressure that time. But no panic on that Colgate sideline, Coach. You talked to Dan Hunt, their 4th-year head coach. He's kind of an old-school guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's an old-school guy, and he does a great job there at Colgate. They understand what they are. It's a highly academic school. They get very smart young men. They run an offense that's very sophisticated. On defense, they play very hard. He does a great job with that staff, and he took a lot from all those years as an assistant there under a great head coach.
So now the first punt of the year for the Raiders. Josh Serra, nice hang time kick. Fielded on the fair catch at the 36-yard line by J.J. Koski. That's when the Mustangs will take their second crack and punching it into the end zone for Coach Tim Walsh. A good response by that Mustang D. Didn't get the turnover, Pat, but now we'll see what that offense can do.
Well, you know, Colgate's got to find some answers in running the ball right now. They haven't been able to run it now. You know, I talked to Tim Walsh before the game. The first thing they wanted to see is how was Colgate going to line up. After seeing the first series, they see that Colgate's playing a 3-4 defense with 4 eyes, and I think they're going to come out here now and start attacking it a little bit wider with the dive and getting the ball on the perimeter a little bit quicker like they did that one time in the second play of the first series.
This time Jenkins from the gun, flanked by a pair of backs, including Lewis, runs the option. The pitch to Lewis as he takes a punishing blow from Afriye, and Lewis lost the football at the 36-yard line. Colgate has recovered the fumble and will have it on the Mustang side of the field.
Well, there they tried to get out on the perimeter, but big play on the sideline by Colgate. Turnovers. This is one thing both coaches, when you run the option, are always talking about. We have to secure the football, and right there we've had 2 ball drops. This time, though, Colgate recovered.
There's the shot by Afriye, but watch on the pitch here, Coach.
Right there. There's the hit that knocked it out.
Ben Hunt, the 4th. Forced it, recovered it.
That's big-time defensive play right there by Colgate. And right now, Colgate's controlling the tempo of this football game.
So the Mustangs missed their chance at taking the ball away. The Raiders have forced a turnover. And that turnover battle, something both coaches cited, of course, as being crucial today. Can the Raiders capitalize for Coach Dan Hunt at the 36 of Cal Poly? And they may have to wait for an official review of that play. The ball was clearly out, Coach, but was there some helmet-to-helmet there?
I don't know if they're going to call helmet-to-helmet there. The ball, the helmet, I think, was down towards the ball.
As they take a look at that, we'll step away from San Luis Obispo. The Raiders have an early 3-0 lead and the ball out here in California. Welcome back to San Luis Obispo. The Colgate Raiders from upstate New York lead nationally ranked Cal Poly 3-0 early on in the first quarter. Thursday, August 31st, number 2, Ohio State and Indiana kick off their seasons on ESPN with a college football megacast. We'll also have you covered on ESPNU, ESPN News, and ESPN3 with alternate productions to bring you the game in the absolute biggest way. Our coverage begins at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's also available on the ESPN app. That call on the field, the fumble recovered by Colgate, stands Raider football 1st and 10 at the 36-yard line of Cal Poly.
Well, this offense of Colgate's is a gap read option, and so far the best gap read they've had is when they're reading the outside back or run pass option.
Carmine Scarfone, so far so good at the controls. The give to Holland again, crawling for room straight ahead and burrows it down to the 33 of Cal Poly. Jack Ferguson on the stop. The Mustangs thought they knocked the ball loose again.
That's very physical sledding inside, but you can see that James Holland is a very quick running back, very strong, a lot like Prothro from Cal Poly. Both of them very physical and quick inside runners.
Holland had 16 touchdowns 2 years ago. Missed most of last year with the knee injury. Alex Matthews spelling Holland in the backfield here on 2nd and 7 for Colgate. Matthews gets the chance. A lot of room. And Matthews with a first down to the 25, make it the 26-yard line of Cal Poly. Colgate picking up another first down.
Well, that time the right tackle from Colgate, Javon Wolford, he pinned the edge and back bounced it to the outside. Good job by the offensive tackle for Colgate.
Mason Montgomery able to make that stop eventually, but not before Matthews picked up the first down. Now James Holland Jr. back in that Raider backfield. 1st and 10 from the 26 of the Mustangs. Scarfone staying in the gun on a 4 wideout set, but it's Holland again, squeaking through the hole all the way down to the 21-yard line.
I tell you, Colgate's been making some adjustments on the sideline. They're starting to get that run game going inside, and for them to be effective, the run game has to work between the tackles. And right now, the last 2 plays have been well executed by that Colgate offensive front.
And Wolford is the least experienced of those starters on the O-line for Colgate, but he's stepping up.
Yeah, right now they're checking an option right now. I don't know what gap they're going at, but he checks everything at the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 5 for Colgate. Holland again squeaking through a double team and down near that first down marker inside the 20 to the 17 of Cal Poly. It'll leave the Raiders 3rd and 1.
I'm waiting for Scarfone to pull this ball right now. He's looked for a quarterback to keep off that option give here anytime soon.
And you talk about him checking at the line. This is a lot to put on a quarterback's shoulder. He really is managing this game for Colgate. He's not taking the calls from the sideline. He's reading them as they happen.
Yeah, when watching him at practice the other day, he calls everything at the line. He calls the scheme, best look. Right here, he's going to look at something. He's got pressure coming from the field right now. I'd probably see him pull the ball. He's checking it right now. He's got pressure coming from the field again.
3rd and 1 in the red zone, and after the high snap, Holland has all kinds of room. James Holland Jr., touchdown Colgate.
Well, you know, they've seen that pressure from the field now. That's the 3rd time. I'd imagine they worked on some blocking scheme inside. They ran the back away from the pressure.
We're going to see it again, Coach. The 17-yarder for Holland, his 20th career score.
Yeah, they just left people back on the play side where the pressure was coming from, let them go, and they wedged it out to the strong side really well. The back squeaked it through. Number 99 can't make the play in the backfield, and that's a heck of a run by Holland.
And it's a heck of a sight for Colgate Nation to see James Holland Jr. healthy again and finding the end zone again, something he did so frequently 2 years ago. The point after by Puzzy up and through. And with 38 seconds left in this first quarter, the Raiders from Hamilton, New York, have a 10-0 lead here in San Luis Obispo.
Turnover, big part of that. You know, Holland in 2015 in a playoff run, 3 playoff games, 295 yards and 7 TDs. That's how he ended up the 2015 season.
If you're not familiar with the Raiders, they are from central New York, about 40 miles east of Syracuse. Hamilton, New York, named for Alexander Hamilton. They don't want to throw away this shot today. Enrollment, almost 3,000. Pretty small school. But, Coach, they've really invested in football.
Oh, that's the thing. They say that there's cranes on campus, 2,800 students, like you said. They just put new turf in the stadium. They just redid the football locker room, the team meeting room, the academic center. They are really working on their facilities. But like Coach Hunt talked about, the commitment to play fullback at Colgate sounded a lot like talking to Calhoun at Air Force. The hours that these young men put on, not only on the football field but in the classroom, is really, really big. There's a huge commitment by the players at Colgate to do what they love, play football, and still get a great education at Colgate.
And Chris Puzzy to kick off again. Last year he handled the kickoffs. He only produced 4 touchbacks all year, but he had the first one in the end zone. This one might be returnable. Kyle Lewis right along the sideline, trying to make up for his fumble earlier, breaks the tackle, still stacked up short of the 20-yard line. And the Mustangs will try to finally get on the board. They went for it on 4th down on their first possession, did not convert, and then the turnover set up that last Colgate touchdown. So we're really yet to see that Cal Poly offense that was so dominant a year ago.
Well, we saw glimpses of it, but then they got themselves in a behind the chains on a long 4th down on a 3rd and short. They tried to get outside, and number 37, Pat Afriye, was sitting there waiting for it, and really that was one of the turning points early in this football game, is the play of number 37. Now this time he's lined up to the wide side of the field. They've got to know where that guy is.
Not the start that Tim Walsh wanted. Trying to make up for it now on the option. The pitch to Lewis. What a move on the sideline to turn almost no gain into a good pickup. But there's the flag, the first today, as the senior Kyle Lewis showed that speed and athleticism.
Well, Coach Young from, Coach Young, what he wanted to do, the offensive coordinator.
For Colgate, Chris
yeah,
Young?
Yeah, he wanted to get the ball in the hands of that fullback. Now, what the defense for Colgate needs to do is take the ball out of the hands of the fullback, and that's what they're doing right now. They're trying to get the ball now on the perimeter. They had success with pro throw inside, but it was not, it was just small chunks. Colgate's doing what they got to do is limit the yardage of the fullback and force the play to the perimeter.
That holding call as we near the end of the first quarter, and back to the ground with pro throw. There he shows some of that power, bouncing off tacklers and busting it all the way out to that original line of scrimmage +1, out to the 19-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 9 for Cal Poly. Not sure they'll get another playoff here in this first quarter.
How about that first first quarter going by in about a half hour? Oof.
Well, the Raiders came almost 2,500 miles. They don't want to waste this opportunity in sunny California at the end of the first quarter here in San Luis Obispo. The Colgate Raiders, a playoff team 2 years ago, looking like they might be a playoff team in 2017. And, Coach, the Raiders love seeing number 2 with the ball in his hands again.
Well, I tell you what, he's got quick feet, and he can explode when he sees the hole. So I expect to see a lot more number 2. They got some schemes working for him now.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. And Mazda, driving matters.
80 degrees and sunshine here on the Central California coast. That young lady has some Cal Poly spirit, but the nationally ranked Mustangs trailing Colgate 10-0. And that Mustang offense, Pat Hill still trying to get it in gear.
Well, they've put a couple self-inflicted wounds on them. One, the big fumble, the 4th down conversion, and the holding penalty set them back. Now they're sitting in 2nd and 8. They could get it back, but they don't like to be behind the chains like this, and they've been putting some of their own problems are created by themselves.
Tim Walsh entrusting the offense to Khalil Jenkins, the junior quarterback, on the option, the pitch, and the hit. Danu destroyed by Ben Hunt IV. He's had a couple of those big shots.
Well, there must have been a blocking mix-up on the perimeter because they were playing a rolled corner into that. Nobody blocked the corner. If you're going to pitch the ball, you got to have somebody on the pitch man. They had nobody on the pitch man. You can see the wide receiver go inside to dig out the safety.
That tackle for loss has the Mustangs facing 3rd and 13 from their own 15-yard line. Ben Hunt IV, a junior out of Mount Laurel, New Jersey, has shown that hard-hitting style already. One thing Jenkins hasn't shown too much is his arm. He's only thrown one pass. Here we go on 3rd and 13. Jenkins with the backside pressure from a free gets rid of it. Going to be short of the first down, but pick up a little more room for the Mustangs in the punt game. Catch made by Jake Smeltzer, just the 6th of his Mustang career.
Well, now we're going to be able to see that punt returner. Abu, number 4, is back there, and kickoff return specialist, punt return specialist. This is a guy that Coach Hunt talked about can be a game breaker at this position in punt return.
And one of the ways the Mustangs might try to neutralize that is with the rugby punt. Casey Sublette, the junior, back there in punt formation. The Raiders blocked 4 kicks a year ago. They almost get to this one, and great hang time for Sublette. Abu Durrami Soiree returns it anyway and pays the price at the 38-yard line of Colgate.
Boy, that was a brave catch and return there. This is a physical football game. These two teams are getting after it.
A very physical football game here in San Luis Obispo, and so far the Colgate Raiders, all the way from upstate New York, have the upper hand, 10-0. San Luis Obispo, where the preseason number 23 in the FCS Cal Poly Mustangs trail the Colgate Raiders out of the Patriot League 10-0. Speaking of national rankings, we're a week away from the Chick-fil-A kickoff game. Saturday, September 2nd, number 1 Alabama against number 3 Florida State at that brand spanking new stadium in Atlanta, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. First time in college football history that the preseason number 1 opens the year against a top 3 opponent. We'll have it for you on ABC. Kickoff at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Also streaming live on the ESPN app. James Holland Jr. missed most of last year. Back in action now, and already 41 yards and a score for the Raiders.
It's a huge series for the Cal Poly defense. They need to make a stop right here.
First and 10 from the 38 of Colgate. Carmine Scarfone, the sophomore, making his college debut today at quarterback. So far, so good. And there's Holland again. Ooh, a touchdown-saving tackle perhaps by Dominic Frash, who met him in the hole and holds him to a gain of 4.
I mean, right now they are finding some seams in that defensive front. Earlier in the game, it was a feeling out process. It just shows you what kind of coaching they do on the sideline. I watch them when they go back to the sideline, that offensive line and running backs, they're together, talking it over with the quarterback, talking about how they're going to get the run game going, and they have made some adjustments.
Holland back to the sideline. Alex Matthews, the sophomore, back there with Scarfone here on second and about 6 at the 42 of Colgate. And this time Matthews with a lot of room. Matthews with the speed. Matthews breaking away.
Well, you can see right there what they did. You'll see it on the replay. They optioned the big nose man, number 99. Nobody blocked him and ran right by him. That was option A-gap on the nose man. And you'll see it on the replay.
58 yards and a Colgate touchdown for Alex Matthews, the sophomore out of Mentor, Ohio. And here's what you're talking about, Coach.
Yep, they were optioning the nose man. The nose man took the quarterback. Nobody on the dive. Offensive line, veer blocks one side, zone blocks the other. Let the nose man go, touchdown. Next thing they'll do, they'll come back and they'll trap him off that. But that time you could see an example of how you option a nose man in college football. Usually they're optioning 3 or 5 techniques. Right there, they option the nose.
What a start for the Raiders out here in sunny California as Puzzy punches another one through. We talk about Cal Poly leading the nation the last 4 years in rushing in the FCS, but the Raiders averaged over 200 yards a game last year, and Matthews with a memory out here in San Luis Obispo. 17-0. Colgate the score. Will the Mustangs respond when we come back? Alex Matthews, the sophomore, with a memory to last a lifetime. We're back after this from California. 17-0 Raiders. Welcome back to San Luis Obispo. The Colgate Raiders from upstate New York surprising the Mustangs of Cal Poly. A 17-0 lead for Coach Dan Hunt and his bunch. We saw the touchdown from Alex Matthews, but what about this Raider D? Only 3 returning starters from a unit that led the nation last year, being the stingiest in the country against the run, less than 70 rushing yards allowed a game, and they're holding the Mustangs down pretty well so far, too.
I'll tell you what, Paul Schaffner, after talking to him yesterday out at St. Joseph's High School in Santa Maria, what a good football coach and a good mind. And the 3 things they needed to do was slow down 5, but wait till this kickoff's over.
This is Kyle Lewis from his own 8. The senior has blazing speed, trying to put it on display, but he's taken down at the 28-yard line. Better starting field position for the Mustangs, and another shot for Khalil Jenkins.
But if you listen to the keys that he had for this game, slow down 5, they've done that. Discipline your eyes and do your 1/11th. Each man do his job, his 1/11th, and get them behind the chains. All of those things they've done so far. And this defensive squad for Colgate is playing at a very high level. And they're pretty simple, you know, they're playing a 3-4, 4 eyes, and they're mixing it up on the perimeter. They're doing a good job of mixing up the looks for the quarterback on the perimeter.
First and 10 for the Mustangs. Ball marked at the 29 of Cal Poly. And here's the All-American Joe Prothro. Met at the line. He still picks up 2. It'll be 2nd and 8 from the Mustang 31.
But once again, you know, it's Khalib Fell and a couple of the big guys inside, Nick Wheeler. You know, they're doing a very good job of holding their blocks early in this football game against that Cal Poly line. The first drive of the game, Cal Poly was getting after them a little bit, but that has slowed down since then. 2nd
and 8 for the Mustangs. Jenkins from the gun. Again on the ground, the freshman Chubi Danu showing some nifty footwork, and he's going to set up a 3rd and 2 from the 38 after that pickup. Chuck Moore, the junior defensive tackle, on the stop for Colgate.
So far, the 2 biggest runs for Cal Poly was the counter, and then this little counter trap, counter lead play to number 28 inside. So counter against those linebackers, any kind of counter action has been holding them up just a little bit. Maybe going to see some more of that out of Cal Poly.
What we haven't seen is Jenkins calling his own number. The true freshman, Brock Mortensen, in the game for the first time. Split out wide, but it's Prothro straight ahead, and I don't know if he got it.
Got to make a decision. He's short. He's short by about a half a yard. Cal Poly, I'd imagine they're going to go for it here.
Down 17-0 at home, season opener. That man, Tim Walsh, went for it on 4th down 31 times last year and made it 20 of 31, but they went for it earlier in this game, their opening possession, and were stopped short.
That was 4th and 3. I do not know if they can stop Prothro on a half a yard here. Look at that defense. They're playing 3 down tackles inside eyes of the guards and head up on the center. They got everybody down inside.
Prothro trying to spin away, and the Raiders do it again.
Well, defensively they changed up. They went with a 5-0 look, meaning they covered 3 down linemen and they sawed off the inside guys, off the edges, so they had all the gaps covered really well, and they just won the battle up front right there with Cal Poly. It looks like they stopped them.
And we talked about leading the nation against the run last year. They only had 3 returning starters. We just saw 2 of them on that stop. Afriyie, the senior defensive end, and Trent Williams, the senior linebacker, forcing the turnover. The Raiders, unless this measurement looks different than what we saw on the screen, are going to have the football back.
I think this is going to be short by about 6-7 inches.
Oh, it's a lot closer than that.
Oh, I missed it by about 2 inches.
I think the Mustangs got a generous spot, but the Raiders have, for the second time in this game, stopped Cal Poly on 4th down.
Wow, great penetration inside, and then those 2 defensive ends knifing off the edges. Linebackers filling really well. Well done. Number 42, Trent Williams, with a big stop there.
Well, the Raiders looked forward to this cross-country trip. They knew the stage was theirs on national TV against a nationally ranked team that was in the playoffs last year. Tim Walsh with a rough start. Now the Raiders look to capitalize again. 11 minutes to go here, second quarter. 1st and 10 in Mustang territory at the Cal Poly 38. Again, Holland, the veteran back, bruising the Mustangs for a gain of 8.
Tell you what, that time they optioned the B gap. Before they optioned the nose, that time they optioned the B gap. B gap was there, they handed it to the back. They don't even block whoever's in the B gap, no matter what the movement is. They just let him go.
8 yards is what Colgate has averaged per play so far in this game. 2nd and a short 2 for the Raiders at the Mustang 30. Alex Matthews in the backfield again with that guy, Carmine Scarfone.
They're checking it right now at the line of scrimmage. Got a little illegal procedure on Colgate there, so that'll set them back. A 2nd and short now becomes a 2nd and 7.
You saw that rushing total on your screen. The Mustangs being doubled so far in that tally by Colgate. 120 on the ground for the Raiders, but the penalty moves them back to the 35. 2nd and 7 for Scarfone and the Raiders.
Okay, right now he's counting the box. He sees 6 in the box. Now he's got to choose 7 in the box now. Could be a pass here.
Dan Hunt could not be more pleased with this start in California. Matthews again, this time swallowed up by that Mustang D. And Colgate will face a critical 3rd down outside of the Raiders' field goal range.
That time there was a little extra, extra bodies in the box. I thought he'd pull the ball and throw it, but at the last minute that outside linebacker on the field side bluffed and moved outside, and he ended up handing off the football.
Scarfone, 5 of 7 throwing the ball so far for 66 yards. Maybe 4 down territory for the Raiders here with a 17-point first half lead. 3rd and 5 from the 33.
Another bluff by Cal Poly. Showing the pressure off the edge, but bring it off.
The pressure is coming. Scarfone gets rid of it, deflected, and intercepted. Cal Poly has it. And Kitu Humphrey, the sophomore out of Long Beach Poly High, the former Jackrabbit, has a big turnover for Cal Poly.
It's a huge play there by Cal Poly, but forcing Scarfone into a throwing situation is what they wanted. That was straight drop back. They had pressure coming up the middle with a free safety blitz. You can see linebacker coming up the middle. Threw it a little bit quick. He had a linebacker in his face, and this is not Colgate's cup of tea, drop back pass. And once again, it was their own penalty that put him in that situation.
You saw the pressure from Montgomery, the deflection by Mazalewski, and the pick for Kitu Humphrey, the 2nd of his Cal Poly career.
See if Cal Poly can get something going. And once again, we haven't seen Jenkins call his own number yet.
And that is part of his appeal as a dual-threat quarterback. But here it goes to Prothro, the All-American, breaking tackles and out past the 25 to the 27, a gain of 5, 2nd and 5 Mustangs.
That's a big gain on 1st down. That's something that Colgate did not want to give up. They wanted to hold him to 3 or less on 1st down. Giving up 5 is not what they want to do on 1st down against this Cal Poly offense. Plenty
of time left in this second quarter. Mustangs shut out so far. As you see Prothro on that all-time Mustang list, he led the Big Sky by a big margin last year.
Last time Cal Poly got shut out was 1998 by Nevada.
Jared Muhammad replacing Prothro, and he picks up 4 yards, well, almost 5, close to that first down marker. Jared Muhammad, the senior out of Brawley, California, and the 4th brother from the Muhammad family to play here for the Mustangs.
Boy, that's something else, isn't it? There's a lot of tradition at this school. Just walking around this campus yesterday, the tradition, the alumni that comes back here, the alumni support, the administrative support at Cal Poly is outstanding.
Muhammad did pick up the first down, 1st and 10 Mustangs at their own 32. Those Mustang alums not happy yet, knocked down 17-0 in the home opener. This is the freshman Danu, and he is met in the backfield by Caleb Fell, who fells him for a loss of a yard, 2nd and 11.
This is his first year starting, Caleb Fell, and this is a guy they're really counting on. A 6'3", 265-pound junior, was only in on 4 tackles last year, and now he's a mainstay at nose man in this defensive front.
Do the Mustangs need to find more ways to get Kyle Lewis the ball? I mean, he was a big play machine last year, almost 10 yards a carry, their leading receiver as well.
Well, they haven't really used anybody else but, you know, the fullback position so far in this game.
And there he is again, Prothro holding on to the football as he blasts it out to the 35, a gain of 3. It'll be 3rd and 7, and we may see Jenkins put it in the air again, something he still has only done twice so far today.
Well, they had that counterplay early in the game coming back to Kyle Lewis. You know, you might see that again, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw number 5 keeping the ball in some way, or maybe even a naked or a boot with him.
We're going to find out. The Mustangs, one of the best 3rd down teams in the country last year at 54%.
Pretty long signal. Might even be a reverse coming up, as they spent a long time looking to the sideline for a signal.
This is the longest 3rd down they face. 3rd and 7. The fake to Prothro. The pitch to Lewis, trying to make a man miss, and he's angled out of bounds. Abu to Rami Soiree with the speed to keep up with Lewis. And the Mustangs face decision time again.
Boy, that was a heck of a play by Abu on the perimeter. Watch him fight off the block on the perimeter of the Cal Poly receiver and make that play. That is great football, well-coached football team. Outstanding play by number 4 on the perimeter.
And 4th and 3, Tim Walsh, who's already been stopped twice on 4th down, decides this time to punt it away. And back deep, the dangerous guy who just made that tackle, Abu to Rami Soiree. Casey Sublette to punt it away for the Mustangs.
They're set up for a return here. It looks like it's a boundary return. They're not going to get it off, though.
And a good punt by Sublette takes it all the way down to the 15 of Colgate.
Yeah, they had a wall setting up over there on the Colgate sideline, but they never had a chance to get to it.
What a start by the Raiders out here in San Luis Obispo. They get the ball back for Coach Dan Hunt with a 17-0 lead over Cal Poly. Welcome back to San Luis Obispo, where that memorial below the flag recognizes the 16 Cal Poly Mustangs who died in that tragic plane crash back in 1960. More about that later. Colgate leading 17-0. And the countdown is on to our 5-star Labor Day weekend of college football games. Special Sunday night primetime matchup for you, September 3rd on ABC. It's 22nd ranked West Virginia, the debut of former Florida quarterback Will Grier, as the Mountaineers take on number 21 Virginia Tech in the Black Diamond Trophy game at FedEx Field, home of the Redskins. Coverage kicks off at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Also streaming live on the ESPN app, Sunday, September 3rd. Colgate with the football again, 1st and 10 from its own 15 with a 17-0 second quarter lead. And look at those numbers for this Colgate offense.
Well, it's a huge series once again for Cal Poly. They got great field position. They got to make a stop right here, a 3 and out. They just optioned the nose again.
And James Holland Jr. this time gets the call.
As you can see, Elisaya running straight up the field. He took the quarterback. They gave the dive. Somebody's got to fill and make that play. When you option the nose, man, they got everybody else blocked. So somebody's got to get off a block and make a play. Early in the game, Elisaya was making plays in the backfield. Now, obviously, they've made some adjustments on the sideline, and they're really starting to option the A-gap of Cal Poly.
Another 8-yard gain. Again, that's what Colgate is averaging on the ground. The Mustangs, which is 3 yards per rush attempt so far. 2nd and 2. Scarfone fakes the handoff, throws it, and nearly throws it away. Incomplete. intended there for Alex Greenewald, the most experienced and productive receiver on this team, the big 6'2 senior, but that was a little too tall for Alex.
Yeah, he caught 32 balls last year, and it's really fun. You know, Scarfone, he's thrown a couple jump balls in this game, had a couple nice sideline throws, but boy, that one was way off the target, and he had an open receiver. Here you got a trips formation of the field, 3rd and 2, so the box is going to be really important to look at the box, and right now the numbers say run the football. They're looking at number 7 right now. They're bringing 85 back inside, and they're looking at number 7. Might be optioning the outside linebacker on this play. Both of them walking off now. A lot of bluffing going on. There's the handoff.
It is Holland, and this time Elisaya meets him in the hole and stops him short of that line of game. But did they blow that play dead before the snap?
That time they optioned the nose. The nose took the dive, and they handed it. That should have been quarterback keep off that.
Colgate took a timeout before the snap.
They were very fortunate there. Cal Poly's going to have to repeat that play.
And how about that move by Dan Hunt? You talked about how much he's putting on the shoulders of Carmine Scarfone in his first career start. And he sees him, and you were walking us through the mental processes for Scarfone. Hunt's doing the same thing on the sideline. He says, wait a second, I don't like this. Let's stop the clock.
Well, you know, they had those linebackers up there showing a pass look, and obviously from the sideline you can probably hear the quarterback making the call, and Coach Hunt didn't like it and called the timeout, and Coach Hunt was right. He didn't like the call.
Well, and we're going to see what the call is this time on 3rd and 2. A big opportunity for the Mustang defense to try to get the ball back for Coach Tim Walsh and find a way to put some points on the board. It's a Mustang team that's been an offensive powerhouse in the FCS, a team that hasn't been shut out since last century and shut out for the better part of this first half. 1998,
Nevada got him 63 zip.
I'm sure the Mustang fans are thankful that you shouted that score at them. 3rd and 2 for Carmine Scarfone and Colgate.
He's checking it again.
And this time Scarfone on the quarterback draw, trying to pick up that first down. It's going to be awfully close.
Short.
Nard on the edge. It might be a pretty good spot there, though, Coach. Pretty close to the line.
That's real close, but I think it's a little bit short. His shoulder hit behind the line, and he needed to get to the line.
It's really the first time we've seen Scarfone try to display that speed that Coach Hunt talks so much about.
That's the first time we've seen a quarterback run. And we're 5 minutes to go. We're 5 minutes to go in the second quarter.
And keep in mind, both of these teams last year had quarterbacks that were some of their leading rushers.
Well, that was a screen. That was a screen draw check off the outside linebacker. He went with the quarterback draw.
Jason Lee had the first contact, then Nard finished him off. Koski hoping for a chance to return it. From his own 35, J.J. Koski dodges 1, dodges 2, and goes down at the 38. The Mustangs have the ball back. 4:41 to go in this second quarter. Still unable to score with an offense that, I mean, you look at him, Coach, at quarterback and fullback and slot back, big-time bodies on display, big-time athleticism, but so far no points.
Well, if you just look at the cover teams for Colgate, the way they cover the ball, the way they play defense, they're a very well-coached football team, just like Cal Poly. Now, Cal Poly's got to make some adjustments. I know they've been working on the sideline, and, you know, you're going to start, I think you're going to start seeing adjustments. The quarterback's got to get involved in this game, and I think he's got to get back to getting that wing involved in the game, Kyle. And Kyle Lewis, he's got to get involved in this football game.
1st and 10 from the Mustang 37. It's pro throw again, straight ahead, and he picks up 7 to the 44. Let's talk about the clock, Coach. I know in your 15 years at Fresno State, you prided yourself on clock management. Cal Poly has the first possession of the second half. Could the Mustangs end up with a 2-for-1 here and keep the ball away from that potent Colgate offense?
Well, with 4:23, they should be able to keep the ball, especially sitting in a 2nd and 3. They're way ahead of the chains right now. If they play it smart, they score here and go into the second half. You know, make it a 2-score game going into second half, and they get the ball first. So this is a huge series for them. If they give it up here, you know, Colgate can control the rest of the clock.
After flipping the wing backs, Jenkins under center on 2nd and a long 2. Back to pass. Khalil Jenkins looking deep.
It's there.
But it's overthrown for J.J. Koski, who had a step on Abu Darami Soiree, but the incompletion brings up 3rd and 2.
Boy, Koski showed some speed there. He ran by Abu, and Abu's a good athlete. He's got speed, but Koski showed a little speed of his own there.
And maybe a little adrenaline for Jenkins on this toss?
Yeah, he gets hit, though. You know, Yeah, that ball is just a little bit long.
It was Chuck Moore who got the shot on Jenkins to force 3rd and 2 from the 45 of Cal Poly. A tighter formation this time. Fake the give to Prothro. Doesn't pitch it, and Jenkins does call his number and moves the chain. Picked a good time for it.
I don't like that ball security there. He was awful loose with the ball, and I know Coach Welsh will be on him about that. You cannot have that ball out there away from your body against a ball hockey team like Colgate. Keep that ball high and tight. Right there, number 10 was very loose with the football, but picks up a critical first down.
Tim Walsh breathes a sigh of relief. A new series of downs. Clock moving. 3.5 minutes left. First half. Down 17-0, but a first down at midfield. They split Lewis out wide this time. Back to Prothro between the tackles, and he moves the pile down to the 45 of Colgate. 2nd and 5.
Yeah, they're starting to run a little bit more of a wider path with the fullback, almost like an outside veer path like Air Force does. They run either the midline inside or the outside veer path. That time it was the outside veer path into the weak side. You know, and you look as this goes on to pull the ball and maybe keep with the quarterback or pitch it. But right now it's been all Prothro.
The senior Prothro, 44 yards on the ground. Make it 52 after that carry. Averaging 3.5 per try. But now Jenkins looks to throw again, taking another deep shot, this time for Kyle Lewis, who drops it at the 3.
Had him beat again, and that ball right off his fingertips.
Lewis was the Mustangs' leading receiver last year, averaged 17 yards a catch, and boy, does he want this one back.
You know, that throwing motion is just a little bit different, but that ball is on the money. That ball should have been caught. Should be 6 points with an extra point waiting right now, but it's not.
Should have been a 45-yard touchdown for the Mustangs, but Kyle Lewis hopes for redemption, and as Cal Poly lines up for 3rd and 5, 2:43 left in this second quarter.
In my 42 years, there's been a lot of should have beens.
And that was his quarterback from last year, Dano Graves, consoling him on the sideline as Danu is stuck in the backfield by Chuck Moore, facing 4th and long for Cal Poly, and another tough decision for Tim Walsh.
I don't think so. He needs to punt this ball here. Unless they got a fake off this punt, this might be a time to see it. I'd imagine that Colgate will be in safe punt, meaning they're not going to be rushing the punter. They're going to be looking for a fake play here.
What a performance by the Colgate Raiders. And again, Casey Sublette, the junior punter, on 4th and 7 on the Raiders side of the field. Moved to Rami Soiree back deep. See if he gets a chance.
They were definitely.
And he wants to field the football and does with a dangerous lunge at the 19. So the Raiders will get to put their 2-minute offense on display if they want to. What a start by the Colgate Raiders in San Luis Obispo. Cal Poly shut out for nearly an entire half. 17-0 in favor of the Gate. Back to San Luis Obispo, the Mustang cheerleaders hoping for something to get excited about, but the Colgate Raiders have had other ideas. Wow, what a performance by Dan Hunt's team.
Yeah, they've come in here and executed at a very high level. Cal Poly's a very good football team. I look for some big adjustments at halftime. Coach Walsh does an incredible job with his football team, and they'll have some time to talk about it, but they got to get off the field right now without giving anything up.
And coming up at halftime, you'll hear about early struggles for the Bulls of South Florida. What is Stanford doing after Christian McCaffrey? And yes, there's a huge star-studded battle coming up in Atlanta with Florida State and Alabama. All that coming up at halftime. But first, more from Carmine Scarfone and the Colgate Raiders from their own 19-yard line. Just under 2 minutes to go. The run game has been big, and this time a big collision as James Holland runs into the line. Ferguson there on the stop. It'll be 2nd and 8.
You know, you can see that Cal Poly these last 2 series have muscled up against the run. They've done a better job inside. You know, there were some really big gashes going on inside, and I think Cal Poly's starting to settle down a little bit. So this chess game will continue early in the 3rd quarter. It'll be interesting to see how these teams adjust.
Colgate still has 2 timeouts remaining. Should the Raiders pop a big play and decide to stop it? Letting the play clock wind down here is Scarfone all the way to 5 before he gives to Matthews. And Scarfone took a shot. Matthews stopped short, and the Mustangs will use a timeout here to try to get the ball back.
See, that time the option, the nose, the key was the nose took the quarterback, but number 10, inside linebacker, Mazalewski, was able to get off the block, make the tackle on the running back. And that was very key before they'd been getting hats on those guys. So it's a chess game right now. Cal Poly is doing a good job of starting to figure it out. So, you know, this second half is going to be very interesting. With 3rd and 8, Cal Poly might just use another timeout, try to go for the block, or maybe set up a return, try to get on the board before the end of the half. Because with 1:12 left, Cal Poly's got 2 timeouts. They make a stop here, look for another timeout by Cal Poly.
You remember what Dan Hunt, the Colgate coach, told us about openers? He said they're lost, not won, and you have to eliminate those first week mistakes. It's been Cal Poly with the missed opportunities, missing a chance at a fumble recovery, and then what should have been a 45-yard touchdown pass is dropped inside the 5.
Well, Cal Poly's made their mistakes. You know, they had the fumble, like you said. They had the misplay on 3rd down, which led to the 4th down stop at about the 30-yard line. Yeah, they've shot themselves in the foot. Cal Poly has made more mistakes in the start of this game, obviously, than Colgate.
3rd and 8 for the Raiders. Scarfone with the inside handoff to Holland, trying to pick it up on the ground, and he stopped just short. So the Mustangs use their 2nd timeout. They still have 1 left, and they'll be getting the football back here with about a minute to play in this first half.
Right there, you know, they've run the sprint out a couple times in this game. That time they ran the sprint draw play I used to run at Fresno a lot. Cal Poly did a good job of hanging that backside linebacker on sprint draw.
Still a big first half for James Holland Jr. in his return to action after missing almost all of last year. 64 yards and a first half touchdown. Matthews, his backup, with 66 yards and a score, and that guy, Tim Walsh, with not enough yards and definitely not enough points.
Well, I tell you, their defense, these last 2 series, the defense at Cal Poly has made 3 and outs and made stops. So they have been making some good adjustments on the sideline. Offensively is where they need to get to work here in the second half, is they've got to get to work on the offensive side of the ball. And they got to stop committing those self-inflicted errors. You know, they're hurting themselves with drop balls, penalties, fumbles. Those are the kind of things that get you beat in a game like this.
Josh Serra to punt it away. J.J. Koski back deep. The Mustangs try to set up the return.
That's a returnable ball right there.
And off the bounce, Koski from his own 29, and
he must have waved his hand because he went to fair catch it, but that was definitely a returnable ball.
They blew the play dead because he had put the hand up to signal fair catch before he saw where the punt bounced to him. So the Mustangs maybe benefit clockwise from that, but not yardage-wise. Exactly a minute to play in this first half. 1 timeout left from their own 30-yard line, trying to find something at the end of the first half before they start the second half with the football.
Well, you'll see a different coverage out of Colgate here. Colgate's not going to be playing a very tight coverage here. They're not going to get beat deep. If they get beat deep here, there's a real problem on the Colgate sideline. They're not going to let play-action deep ball beat them here at the end of the half. Yeah, they're going into a 2 shell. They'll make sure nothing gets behind them. Well, that's it.
Hasn't happened since 1998. That the Mustangs have been shut out this long. Here's Jenkins to the left sideline. A lot of contact, looking for a flag, but not getting it is Jake Smeltzer. Tyler Castillo was there, maybe a little early.
I might have an argument with that one. I want to argue with that stripe guy right now, but that receiver was interfered with before the ball got there. That was not a catchable ball either. So, you know, first game for the refs too. So I think they might have missed a call there.
2nd and 10 for that guy, Tim Walsh, and his Cal Poly Mustangs. We haven't seen Jenkins put it in the air much. He's now 2 of 5. 56 seconds to go in the half, and they go back to pro throw, but a false start will move them back to their 25.
Sometimes with a new quarterback, you start getting a few cadence situations where the cadence doesn't sound right to the lineman and things of that nature. I'd take a shot down here on this corner, number 10. He's got no help behind him.
That's Tyler Castillo, who was there in coverage on that last play where he thought he might have been there early. 54 seconds left in the half. Mustangs down 17-zip on their home field. And this time the option. Danou on the pitch, and he's taken down out of bounds at the 27. T.J. Hall with another punishing hit. Thought they were going to mark him down inbounds, but out of bounds stops the clock with 48 seconds left in the half. 3rd and long.
That's clinic option. Shut down the dive, stall the quarterback out right here, make him pitch it, run it to the sideline, beat the block. That's great pursuit, great play by the Colgate defense. That's the way you play the option. Shut it down from the inside out, force it to the sideline, and run. Great job right there by Colgate.
Couldn't be a much better half for that Colgate defense and coordinator Paul Schaffner. A couple fourth down stops already. Now trying to deny the Mustangs on 3rd and 12 with 48 seconds left, and Prothro gets 2. It'll be 4th and 10. Pat Afriye, the All-American, on the stop, and now the Raiders use a timeout because they want to score some more.
You might see a block attempt here. You know, this is a time where even if you get roughing the kicker, Cal Poly, they're thinking on defense over there at Colgate. They're not going to score anyway, so let's take a chance. Let's rough that kicker if we have to, but let's go for the block. I think this is a good time to go for the block. 44 seconds. Even if Cal Poly gets the ball, they only got 1 timeout left. They're not moving the ball with much success right now. Their quarterback doesn't have a great feel for throwing the ball downfield at this time. So right now, I'd take a chance.
That's exactly what Dan Hunt and Scarfone are talking about there, as Abu Durrami Soiree goes back for another return. 44 seconds left in the half.
They got the front loaded. They might be coming after it here. I think it'd be a good call. Yeah, here they come.
But Sublette gets it away. A short kick. And a Mustang roll. All the way down to the 19-yard line. What a booming kick for Sublette to pick up 51. 33 seconds left at the half, and we'll see what the Raiders decide to do.
Well, the one thing the Raiders could do here is, they're not going to drop back and beat Cal Poly deep, I don't think, but, they could look a little play action, tuck it up inside, go down. I know they were working on some deep posts in pregame warm-up really hard. Scarfone was working on that deep post, so maybe they're just going to run out the clock.
You see his numbers for the first half. In his first start, the interception didn't cost him, and he has made the right reads at the line to power this Colgate offense.
The last 2 series, though, Cal Poly has found some answers, but that's going to be the end of the half. Colgate's going to take it in with a 3-score lead right now, and I think Cal Poly's going to have the ball first, second half. It's going to be very interesting to see what Cal Poly does with adjustments, especially on the offensive side of the ball. They've made some good adjustments on defense. Offensively, they got to find some ways to move the ball against that Colgate defense.
Dan Hunt and Raider Nation seeing the world through maroon-colored glasses right now as his Colgate Raiders, with a surprising start here in Mustang Land, the nationally ranked Cal Poly Mustangs shut out for the first 30 minutes. They'll try to regroup as they head to the locker room. Halftime in San Luis Obispo, all Colgate. James Holland Jr. is back and better than ever. It's the Raiders at halftime over the Mustangs by the score of 17-0. We'll be back in a bit with the second half.
EF College Football, brought to you by the all-new Volkswagen Tiguan, the new king of the concrete jungle, and the DQ Blizzard. Now buy 1 Blizzard and get another for just 99 cents.
A surprising halftime score here in San Luis Obispo, California. The Colgate Raiders out of the Patriot League, a 17-0 lead over a Mustang team that carried a preseason number 23 ranking into this contest today. I'm Paul Leffler with Pat Hill, longtime Fresno State coach. Pat, if you're down 17-0 at your half, you're Tim Walsh, you led the nation in rushing 4 years running, and you haven't done anything offensively, what adjustments are you making?
Well, first of all, they've caused their own problems. They've had a fumble, 2 fourth-down stops, a drop touchdown pass. They've got to get back to playing smart football, but you've got to make some adjustments here in the second half. I think we'll see a lot more of number 4, and I wouldn't be surprised if Jenkins doesn't start carrying the football more. But right now, you got to make some adjustments on offense.
Because this first half, offensively, was pretty ugly.
Yeah, well, they got stopped twice on 4th down. Here's another one right here. You've got to make 4th down conversions. Here you got a fumble, so there's a turnover that led to 7 points, and here's a drop pass that takes 7 off the board for Cal Poly. So these are self-inflicted wounds, and in your first game, both coaches are talking about ways that you got to be a smart football team.
Nearly double the rushing yards for Colgate compared to Cal Poly in that first half. The Raiders dominating to the tune of 17-0. Saw the senior Kyle Lewis. He had both the fumble and the drop touchdown pass. He's the biggest playmaker on this Cal Poly team. He was also the first Mustang back on the field before this second half, and he may get a chance to return to this opening kick of half number 2.
Well, if you look at the 2 turnovers, one was capitalized into a touchdown. The Colgate turnover, no points came out of it.
There's your halftime summary, and now the second half ready to commence. Chris Puzzy ready to put it in the air, and Kyle Lewis, that dangerous senior out of San Marcos High School down near San Diego, hoping for a chance to catch it in this beautiful sunny sky and take it back the other way. What a day, 80 degrees and sunshine here on California's Central Coast. And there's Puzzy putting his right foot into it. Lewis 2 yards deep. Kyle Lewis, blazing speed. Lewis on the sideline and out of bounds at the 40.
Well, you said it. First man out of that locker room to start of the second half was Kyle Lewis, who did not play an extraordinarily well first half, obviously, but came out and he's ready to go, obviously, from that kickoff return.
And how about the kicker, Chris Puzzy, at the end of this? But let's watch it develop here, Coach.
Well, they did a really good job of kicking out number 1 and doubling on number 3. Take it right up the sideline outside the hash. Good return. Puzzy, the kicker, had to make the play.
And he did. He's built like a linebacker. He played like one. 6'2", 220. Chris Puzzy on the stop. He had one of those last year, too.
Well, he used that sideline as his best friend. He had good position, and thank God he had the sideline on his team. The sideline has never missed a tackle.
I think I heard their defensive coordinator, Paul Schaffner, say that. His unit back on the field. Joe Prothro back on the field, trying to shake the tackle. Picks up 4 to the 44-yard line. Trent Williams, the senior linebacker, on the stop. 2nd and 6 for this Mustang offense that in last year's regular season led the nation in rushing for the 4th consecutive year.
I always felt as a coach the first series of the second half, when you're down, especially at home, you got to come out and make a statement to start the second half. And at 2nd and 6, they are right on the number right now with a 4-yard gain.
Khalil Jenkins only thrown 5 passes. He did call his number on a big 3rd down play, running it on the ground to move the chains. Now back to Prothro, and he crawls his way to the 48. It'll be 3rd and 2. Another tackle for the junior linebacker, T.J. Hall.
I tell you what, it's just a matter of time before Jenkins pulls that ball again, because I'll tell you what, that Colgate defense is really sucking down on number 5, and you got to keep your eyes disciplined when playing the option. As soon as they get that quarterback out of their sight, don't be surprised to see number 10 turn it up for a big gain.
The Mustangs, one of the top 3rd down conversion teams in the country last year, only at 33% so far. 3 out of 9 here on 3rd and 2. Prothro can't find it again. Wow. It'll be 4th and 2 at the 48. Opening possession of the second half, down 17-0 on his home field. Tim Walsh might go for it.
A free eye again, slicing down from his defensive end position, making a hit.
And John Steffen was there to help him, the junior out of Hawley, Pennsylvania. There you see Tim Walsh.
This is as big a play. I know it's early, but in this football game, this is a huge play to make a statement for both sides.
Twice already, this Colgate D has stonewalled the Mustangs on 4th down. 4th and 1.5 yards here. Back to Prothro, and again the Raiders stuff them.
That's the 3rd time they've stopped them on 4th down. What a play by the Colgate defense. I got to take my hat off to Paul Schaffner. You know, last year he battled throat cancer the whole season, never missed a practice. He is an outstanding defensive coordinator.
And you see it again. Prothro, nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go. They're knifing those defensive ends, outside linebackers down inside, making a play right there. Number 28's got to get his head up inside on that play.
A nightmare start for Tim Walsh and these nationally ranked Mustangs. His team converted 65% of their 4th downs last year, 0 for 3 today. And now the Raider offense back on the field with the dangerous junior James Holland Jr. in the backfield. On the Mustang side of the field at the Cal Poly 49, Scarfone play action. Swings it out to Greenewalt, trying to break a tackle. And he'll pick up 7, make it 6.
I'll tell you one thing Cal Poly changed. Just come out in the second half playing an even front, 4-man down instead of that 3-4 look with the 4 eyes. So they did make a change in their defensive front. On that play, B.J. Nard has got to come down and make that tackle. There was 3 extra yards gained on that because of a missed tackle. Got to make that play.
Gain of 6. 2nd and 4 from the Mustang 43. Looking at the nose guard, Fino Elisaya, big senior. Now at Nard, that veteran safety.
Back in a 3-man look here.
Again to Holland, met at the line, and Holland this time driven backwards. The Cal Poly defense stands strong.
That time they optioned the B gap outside, let the defensive end go.
And again, these are reads that Scarfone is making at the line each and every time.
Yeah, he makes reads not only in the run game, but he makes pass run reads based off linebacker play. Like if the linebacker stays in the box, he'll throw the ball. If he leaves the box, he'll run the ball. There's a lot on his plate, and he's handling it very well. If you look at the two quarterbacks, they're both getting their first really true starts, and Scarfone has done a very good job with his.
6 of 10 so far, and facing third and 3 right here.
Big one here. He's got the front now. He's got a loaded box. He's going to have to throw it.
He is throwing it. He's taking a shot on the right sideline, and the catch is made and then dropped. Ives had it in the basket and then knocked loose as he approached the 15-yard line.
Thomas Ives had the ball, just ran a straight fade. Cal Poly loaded the box, which was a smart move. They went with the pass. Boy, completed pass down the sideline one-on-one, but dropped the football.
Cam Dennis there stayed with it, trying to knock it away. His brother Carlton was a DB here at Cal Poly as well. And the pass breakup for Dennis forces Colgate to punt.
Did a pretty good job stripping his arms. Here's the punt. Cal Poly looks like they're going to play it safe. No rush.
A low snap, but the punt away by Sarah. Kicked the nose of the ball to try to sting it. And Koski fair catches it inside his own 15. Cal Poly will start at its own 14-yard line. Still trailing at home against the surprising Colgate Raiders. 17-0. Cal Poly with the ball when we come back. Welcome back to Alex G. Spanos Stadium here in San Luis Obispo, California. Named for a great California native out of Stockton, a World War II veteran known as the owner of the Chargers. Facilities named for him up in Stockton and Sacramento, too. James Holland Jr. there all the way from Florida, but he is loving California. Boy, did the Raiders miss him last year, Pat.
Yeah, they did. This guy is perfect for this offense, and Coach Hunt told me he's looking for 5'9", 200-pound running backs that can slash and run with power, and that's what Holland can do. Pro throw also just carrying the load. 21 carries, only 3.2 per carry. I'd have to say Colgate's doing a great job of slowing him down.
That was their #1 priority. Try to force the ball out of his hands. Cal Poly is stuck with him. This time Jenkins calls his own number, and he makes his way near the 20-yard line. So a nice pickup for the junior quarterback out of San Diego. Khalil Jenkins still navigating his way through at that quarterback position, and only his second career start and his first in 2 years.
That was the quarterback follow play. They did a good job closing down on #5 pro throw, and he followed it inside behind a lead block. To pick up a good 5 yards, get them right on target. Well, maybe 4.5, 5 yards. They're in great shape here on that first down carry.
I'll call it 6, 2nd and 4 from the 20, and Jenkins in the gun this time. Khalil Jenkins throwing the football, and it's off the hands of Smeltzer, incomplete. Abu Darami Soiree closed that ground in a hurry.
Yeah, he closed it in a hurry, but that ball took forever to get out there. You got that soft corner play. They threw that hitch earlier in the game. On the other side of the ball, Colgate, the ball got out there a lot faster. He's got to get the ball out of his hand, get it out in the flat, get the 5, move the chains, and keep on going. That ball came out of there way too slow, and Abu had a chance to really break on it.
So now a big opportunity for Jenkins. Last year the Mustangs a great third down team with Dano Graves at the controls. Graves now the quarterback coach for Jenkins, who's back to throw again on 3rd and 4, and now trying to run it is stopped short. There is Pat Afriye again.
Wow.
If they call that a sack, he'll be second all-time at Colgate with 25.
Great play there on the quarterback draw. He's coming up the field hard, folds back into the play, makes the play. That guy right there, 37, you're going to be hearing about him next year when they're having the NFL draft. That guy's going to be a special player at the next level because he can play so many positions. He can play linebacker, he can rush the passer, he can be a nickel-type personnel guy. He has a lot of skill levels that people are looking for at that league.
Last year he had 21 tackles behind the line. Colgate looked like it had a chance to block that one, but Sublette gets it away, and it bounces out of bounds at the 44 of the Raiders. So just a 35-yard net on that punt by Sublette. The Raiders will have outstanding field position, and it looks like the Raiders playing smart there on special teams, Pat. Didn't want to risk the roughing the kicker penalty.
Well, the rugby-style kick went away from him, and it would have been very hard to try to block it across the body. Might have got a roughing call. Very smart play. Raiders play very smart football.
And they take pride in special teams. A lot of pride. They call it special operations, and they do something a lot of coaches don't do. They take individual time in special teams at every practice.
That's what we used to do, 25 minutes a day. We did 25 minutes a day. Special teams was the first meeting, first action of the day.
Scarfone pressure, gets rid of it, in traffic, incomplete. The breakup made by Humphrey. The pressure came from B.J. Mazalewski, linebacker.
Yeah, they had a straight blitz on, got the pressure. You can see that throwing the ball is not a forte of either team. For these teams to be successful, they have to run it. And that just shows you both teams are running the football, but not for big yards. We really have two good defensive football teams, but it's come down to the mental errors like we talked about earlier, self-inflicted wounds by Cal Poly, which has caused the score to be what it is.
2nd and 10 after the incompletion. 5 minutes gone by, third quarter. Still 17-zip Colgate. Scarfone fakes the pitch, keeps it, the hurdle, and then pays the price as B.J. Nard levels him at the 49 of Cal Poly.
Good play by Nard.
You like your quarterback making a hurdle move in midfield?
Well, when you got an option team, I don't mind it because he's a running back. He's a running back playing quarterback.
And he took that shot while airborne from B.J. Nard, the 6th-year senior safety from Bakersfield, California.
Frontier High School. Yeah.
Let's see how Scarfone responds to the biggest hit that he's taken all day. 3rd and 3 for the Raiders.
I think it's the only hit. I think it's the only hit he's taken today.
Maybe got hit as he threw a couple times, but yeah, nothing like that. Here's Holland breaking a tackle in the backfield and running over Nard to pick up the first down.
Once again, option in the nose man, option in big number 99, and he tried to play them both. He's coming straight up the field. He's on the quarterback, tried to go back on the back, but the back broke the tackle. You don't see many people option a nose man in football, but there it is again, and they got the block on the linebacker. Therefore, Nard has to come up and make the play. They're making the block on the linebacker that's got that gap. They get the A-gap player going, and then they block the player that's got that gap.
1st and 10 from the 44 of Cal Poly. Alex Matthews replacing Holland in the backfield. Scarfone wants to throw the football, gets rid of it. Complete on the sideline, a first down to Thomas Ives, the 6'5 junior.
Now there's a nice throw. Nice throw. Wasn't a timing route. He was already out of his break when that ball was in the air, but that ball was put right where it needed to be on the outside sideline side of the body. Defensive man can't make a play on that ball.
11 yards and a Raider first down, and Dan Hunt could not ask for a better debut from his Raiders so far today.
What he wants to do now is just keep chewing up clock.
1st and 10 from the 33 of Cal Poly. Malik Twyman in the backfield. True freshman out of Williamstown, New Jersey. They fake it to Twyman. There's the completion to Greenawalt. Greenawalt inside the 25, and he's got another first down.
That's a run-pass option based off the outside linebacker. Outside linebacker stays in the box. They throw it on the perimeter.
Alex Greenawalt, the 6'3 senior, nearing 100 career catches, and he's got him a first down to the 22 of the Mustangs. This Raider machine keeps on churning.
Most of this game by both teams has been played between the tackles. There hasn't been a lot on the perimeter.
Scarfone starting to pick up some confidence in the pass game here. 1st and 10 from the 22 of Cal Poly. Holland back in the ball game. Holland back with the football. James Holland Jr. somehow finds a way to penetrate the red zone to the 19.
Yeah, a little counter play. Very small hole, but once again, Holland is explosive. He sees a little crease, gets his pads down, very strong in the lower body, getting those extra yards.
Pat, you remember who won the FCS National Championship last year with a 28-14 win over Youngstown State?
No.
The Dukes of James Madison.
Oh, yeah, James Madison. Yeah, that's right.
Well, the year before that, James Madison was knocked out of the FCS playoffs by a Colgate team that had a healthy James Holland Jr.
Well,
They've got a healthy James Holland Jr. again.
Yes, they do.
And now a penalty flag flies, a false start. That was a huge win for Dan Hunt.
Still second down.
In the 2015 playoffs. They won 2 games in those playoffs, made it to the quarterfinals of that 24-team FCS bracket. Last year, Holland was hurt against Richmond early in the season, missed the rest of the year. Otherwise, they might have been back in the playoffs.
Well, I said it earlier, when James Holland was playing at the end of that season, he got 295 yards in 3 playoff games and 7 touchdowns. That's not a bad performance.
He had 15 of his 16 touchdowns that year in the last 8 games. So he was picking up where he left off there. But after the penalty, 2nd and 12 from the Mustang 24. And here's Holland again, showing some burst, breaks another tackle, and wheels his way down to the 17-yard line of the Mustangs.
That time they were optioning the end gap, the C gap. The tackle's blocking down, the end went with him. So now the option got put on the linebacker, but the linebacker couldn't make the play. The end collapsed with the offensive tackle. 2's out of the game right now.
Yeah, it looks like that left thigh or groin area might have been bugging him a little bit. 3rd down for the Raiders here. They're in field goal range now, and Matthews back in the game next to that young man, the sophomore out of Parkland, Florida, Carmine Scarfone.
He's checking it right now at the line of scrimmage again.
3rd and 6 from the 18. Here's Matthews. 2nd effort. He's awfully close.
Same exact guy they optioned. They optioned the end. That time the tackle looped outside to go get the backer, and they put the option on the end. So the tackle was able to loop outside to get the backer, and they ran the dive up inside.
Quite a 1-2 punch between Holland and Matthews so far, but he's a yard short. 4th and a yard from the 13. Same scenario on their opening drive. They kicked the field goal. This time looks like they'll go for it.
Well, they feel good about their run game right now. They've got a feel for it. You know, the opening drive of the game, they couldn't run the football, if you remember. That was when Cal Poly was very, very stout on that opening drive. They got down the field throwing it big down here.
Carmine Scarfone on 4th and 1. Play clock just about to expire, and it does before that snap came. Unless Colgate got the sideline timeout, that's going to move them back 5.
Game. Number 16 offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Well, we talked about quarterbacks who are inexperienced, and that's really the first time Scarfone has shown the inexperience.
Well, you know, that time Cal Poly showed a front that they had like 7 or 8 men right up on the line of scrimmage. It took him a while to figure out what that scheme. He had never seen that before, and what was his check against that front.
So now, out of the hold of Josh Serra, Chris Puzzy, who nailed one on the opening possession, will try to do it again.
The one thing Puzzy does is he gets the ball up quickly, and he'll need to here.
35-yard attempt from the right hash. The sophomore. The hold down. And the kick finds its way through that right upright. Colgate now up 20-0 here in San Luis Obispo. Where did this come from, Pat Hill?
First year kicker, 2 for 2. You know, they're a lot of new players. A lot of new players for Colgate, and they are answering the bell.
15 yards, an automatic first down from the 32, and boy did Jenkins get blistered there as Prothro carries it ahead. Wisniewski on the stop, but the big collision was in the backfield as Jenkins had to feel the weight of the All-American Pat Afriye.
Pat Afriye hit him at the junction point. He had the quarterback. The ball was given to the fullback, and the quarterback, hey, when that ball's in mesh, he's a free target. That's one thing about a quarterback in the option, and he took his shot.
Gain of 7 for Prothro. 2nd and 3 from the 25. Fake the pitch. Jenkins on the run. On the sideline, they say out of bounds where Smeltzer hauled it in. We'll get a look at that. Jake Smeltzer, the 6'3 sophomore from Southern California. It's incomplete. It's going to leave 3rd and 3 from Colgate 25. Here's the look, Pat.
Now we'll take a look at it from where we're standing. I had no chance to see it. There's the catch. He's out of bounds.
Got that long stride, a little too long for Smeltzer.
Left foot was on. He might have dragged the right, but the left foot on the catch was on the line.
So 3rd and 3 for the Mustangs on the edge of field goal range in a game where they've been shut out. And down 20-0, you really need a touchdown, don't you?
Yeah, they need to score here. There's that little trap again. Big
and
game.
Prothro, breaking tackles, has the first down inside the 20.
That's new in the second half. That's the second time on this series they've run a trap. First time they ran it from the left to right. I mean right to left. That last time was a left to right pull. There it is, little trap up inside like a quick power trap.
Harry Whitson, that left guard, had that key block. But how about Prothro on this drive showing some senior leadership? He is one of the Cal Poly captains, and he's trying to carry him to the end zone for Coach Tim Walsh. Jenkins under center, 1st and 10 inside the 20. Prothro again, pushing blockers out of the way as he bulls his way to the 15.
Cal Poly's offensive line is starting to assert itself a little bit in this drive. It looks a little bit like that first half drive. There's some urgency about this Cal Poly offense right now because they're running out of time. It's almost the end of the third quarter. They got to put one in right here.
2nd and 6 from the 15-yard line. Prothro up to 97 yards on 27 carries.
You can see there, see how they're all shading their eyes looking to the sideline. So when you're working the right side of the field, if you really have to look up back into the sun, that's tough. Down here on the shaded side, a lot easier to catch a ball.
That's where Koski is, but the handoff goes inside, and Cal Poly is going to be left with 3rd and about 5, maybe 4, after that short gain inside for the backup fullback, Jared Muhammad, the senior out of Brawley, Southern California. Probably 4 down territory, though, down 3 scores, and time is running out on this third quarter.
Well, 20-3 still keeps you down 3 scores. So, yes, I think this is definitely where you got to take a shot and score a touchdown here.
Jenkins under center with 10 seconds left in the quarter. 3rd and 4. From the 13-yard line, it's Prothro again, straight ahead, and Joe Prothro does it again.
Now that's what Prothro does really well. The dive was designed to go almost to the B gap on the left side, and before he got to the line of scrimmage, was able to cut it back to the backside A gap. That's a heck of a cut by Prothro on that play.
The tireless senior Joe Prothro will have Cal Poly set up 1st and goal when we come back.
I love that guy, number 5. Boy, he is a tough nut, boy.
But the story of this game, Pat, the Colgate defense shutting out Cal Poly for 3 quarters.
Yes, they have.
We're back in San Luis Obispo for the final 15 minutes after this.
Here's Francois into the end zone. Standing up. Touchdown, Seminoles. Celebration underway for Florida State.
Oh, yeah, we're just a week away from DeAndre Francois, the dynamic Derwin James, and the 3rd-ranked Florida State Seminoles taking on number 1 Alabama at the brand-new Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. First time in college football history, the number 1 team opens against a top 3 opponent. We'll have it for you on ABC with coverage kicking off at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. Also, of course, streaming live on the ESPN app. Your old buddy Nick Saban has his hands full, Pat Hill.
Yes, he does, but he'll have his team ready. I'll promise you that.
And Joe Prothro has been ready on this drive. All the key carries, over 100 yards for the 6th time in his Mustang career. He takes the pitch this time, shows some speed to the edge, and is out of bounds at the 6-yard line. A gain of 2, 2nd and goal.
Once again, that Colgate defense, their speed to the sideline is very, very good. I thought Prothro was going to cut it up. You know, I don't know if you can take that thing on a straight line to the sideline against this Colgate defense.
2nd and goal. Jenkins under center. Mortensen, the freshman, in the game and in motion there. Brock Mortensen, a talented freshman from down the California coastline in Ventura. Again, he swivels back as Prothro bounces off Raiders, and you called it. Touchdown, Cal Poly. The Mustangs shut out for 45 minutes and 28 seconds. Finally find the end zone.
Harry Winston and Sam Oji on the left side of the line, along with Joey Cooperman. Very good job on the left side of the line. A little veer blocking, and away they went.
And that is some big-time power from Joe Pro, as his teammates call him.
Number 62, Harry Whitson. Boy, that was a heck of a block right there.
And how about the point-after formation from Cal Poly? They line up wide and now bunch in for the extra point from Sublet. 22nd career rushing touchdown for the senior Joe Prothro.
We used to do that all the time. Just gives that defense something to work on a little bit more. And if they don't cover it, you go for 2.
Sublet puts it through for 1 with 14:22 to go in the 4th quarter. The Mustangs are on the board.
2-score game. We got a game. 2-score game.
Well, Tim Walsh has relied heavily on that senior Joe Prothro.
You think? Holy moly.
We'll see if we see more Prothro in this 4th quarter. Colgate still in front, 20-7.
PA College Football, brought to you by the DQ Blizzard. Now buy 1 Blizzard and get another for just 99 cents. And the all-new Volkswagen Tiguan, the new king of the concrete jungle.
Well, here on California's beautiful Central Coast, they love their sunshine, their palm trees, and they love points. Tim Walsh's Mustangs finally have 7, and we'll see how the defense responds with Colgate getting the ball back. 20-7 in favor of the Raiders out of Central New York.
Well, now clock management becomes big. First downs really hurt Cal Poly, so they got to make a stop. The sooner they can make the stop and get the ball back, they have started to get some answers in the offensive front. Now the cover team for Cal Poly the last 2 times out have been very, very good. We'll see what they got this time. They need a stop inside the 20 here. Great coverage is something Cal Poly needs on this kickoff.
Abu Durrami Soiree back deep for Colgate. He's going to get a shot to return this. Durrami Soiree from his own 5. Spins off a tackle at the 25, and the late flag comes in.
Yeah, you'll probably get this one backed up. Anytime the flag is behind the runner, that is not a good sign for a coach.
Brett McCray, our referee today.
Now there's 10 yards lost there.
Well, and it's been a pretty clean game penalty-wise.
Well, you got two very well-coached football teams, and usually in that situation you're not going to have many flags, but that was definitely a block behind the line of scrimmage or a hold that they called. That flag was thrown as soon as the running back got up into the seam.
And now Carmine Scarfone in his college debut back at quarterback. The one interception was a deflected ball that the Mustangs could not capitalize. Scarfone from his own 13-yard line with 14 minutes and change to go, and the flag flies again.
Left the right guard.
Scott Hirschman, the senior out of Berwyn, Pennsylvania, flagged that time, and the long field gets longer for the Raiders.
Started 4 games last year as a junior. This is his 5th start. Jumping off sides, that is a self-inflicted error. Now you're looking at 1st and 15 on the chains. Cal Poly can make some changes in what they're doing. Play a little softer in the secondary. Commit those safeties maybe a little harder to the run. See what we got here.
Well, and James Holland Jr. just watched Joe Prothro dominate. Maybe Holland ready to answer the bell now from his own 8-yard line. 1st and 15. There is Holland trying to tunnel his way through, and he's out to the 12-yard line, a gain of 4. Leroy Mielencone on the stop for the Mustangs.
Now you got him behind the chains right here. You got him 2nd and 11. This is where Cal Poly wants to be. It's good job by number 94 closing down inside from the backside, making that play.
His teammates call him LJ, Leroy Mielencone, the senior out of Quartz Hill, California, played for the Spirits of Paraclete High School. 2nd and 11 for Colgate, leading 20-7 in this 4th quarter. Scarfone, the give to Matthews, and Mielencone again able to wrap those big arms around him at the 15. And Pat, you were talking in the 3rd quarter when Cal Poly was heading this direction, how the setting sun and the shade of this facade on the west end was becoming a factor. Right now, Scarfone's got sideline to sideline and shade until he gets to the 30-yard line at Cal Poly.
Yeah, he's got plenty of room. That sun, I always felt sun was a factor in a football game, especially when you're looking back to the football on offense.
So out to the 16-yard line, need to get to that 23. 3rd and 7 for the Raiders.
Big 3rd down right here. This would be a big 3 and out if they can make a stop here.
The inexperienced quarterback trying to come through under pressure.
He's
steps
running.
up. The speed of Scarfone at the 20 and knocked down at the 21. Closing the gap was Cam Dennis, the sophomore corner.
That's a heck of an open field tackle, saving that from being a 1st down. I thought Carmine was going to cut it back on him, but number 21, that is a textbook tackle in the open field, chopping his legs down and preserving the ability for Cal Poly to get this ball on a return now.
You saw his safety coach, Randy Stewart, one of your old assistants, proud about that. And Cam Dennis must have learned that from a guy who played for you. A.J. Gass was his coach at Servite High School down south.
Yeah, there's some Bulldog ties here.
Fresno State Bulldogs is who Pat Hill coached for 15 years. A big spiraling punt, returnable for Koski, flag down. And J.J. Koski sidesteps his way to the 38. We await that penalty ruling. We're going to step away here with 4th quarter drama in San Luis Obispo. Sensing a little momentum shift here, the Mustangs are on the board, and now they've got the ball again for Coach Tim Walsh, trailing 20-7 at home. We're back after this.
One of the greatest legends involves the team you don't remember from Friday Night Lights.
The greatest high school team ever.
ESPN Films presents a 30 for 30 film presented by Mini. What Carter Lost.
Welcome back to San Luis Obispo, California. Beautiful college town of about 45,000 people, but their Mustangs ranked 23rd in the FCS preseason polls, trail Colgate 20-7. Hey, that countdown is on. The 5-star Labor Day weekend of college football games includes a special Sunday night primetime matchup for you. Sunday, September 3rd on ABC. It's Dana Holgerson and number 22 West Virginia taking on Justin Fuentes, Hokies of number 21 Virginia Tech. They're at FedEx Field, home of the Redskins, for that Black Diamond Trophy game. It kicks off at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Sunday, September 3rd. Also, of course, streaming live on the ESPN app. And Joe Prothro running live and running well and running past Colgate Raiders all the way out to the 32-yard line of Cal Poly. That looks like a gain of about 8 on that first down carry for Cal Poly. After the punt play, there was a hold call that moved the Mustangs back. It'll be 2nd and 2 from the Cal Poly 31.
I tell you what, Cal Poly's offensive line this second half has been grinding on the football, has been grinding with their offensive line, and it might be starting to take a toll on the smaller defensive line of Colgate because a lot of those head-on tackles have now become a little bit more arm tackles. Last season, 34.7 points a game. They got, what, 7 tonight?
Yeah, they were number 1 in the Big Sky last year. Jenkins letting it loose down the sideline looking for Kyle Lewis. And it's incomplete as Khalil Jenkins took a hard shot as he let go of that football. It's going to be 3rd and 2 for Cal Poly.
There's good coverage there by Colgate. I just don't see the speed of number 4 yet. Is he hurt or what? But right there, he's going stride for stride down the sideline with the corner from Colgate. No separation at all. Or the safety from Colgate. He got matched up on a safety.
Khalil Jenkins, the junior quarterback from San Diego. As you look at Trent Williams, that senior linebacker, one of 3 returning starters for Colgate. Back to Prothro on 3rd and short, and he doesn't pick up the first down. Caleb Fell's the Mustang star on his 30th carry of the night. And Tim Walsh, who's already gone for it 4 times in this game on 4th down, has to do it again with 10:45 remaining.
These are tough calls, but you got to go here because you don't know when you're going to see the ball again. These ball control teams, these clock eaters, you got to make a big play here, and this is going to be a big one.
Dan Hunt has seen his defense step up with 3 4th down stops in this game.
They're
4th
playing
and
that
2 for the Mustangs.
5 down front again.
Jenkins fakes the give, keeps it himself. Khalil Jenkins, first down and more, and holds on to the football out to the 42.
Finally pulls the ball, gets the perimeter. Bad eyes by the outside linebacker, came down too hard on the dive.
After being stuffed on their first 3 4th down tries, they've converted 2 in a row.
Yep, 42 came down too hard inside. Quarterback makes a great read, pulls the ball, no penetration, so he can pull the ball, gets out around the corner. Big pickup for Cal Poly.
And he was smart. He ran away from the All-American Pat Afriye on the other end of the line. This time Prothro with a hole. Prothro to midfield, and the Mustangs can sniff a 1-score ball game. Ben Hunt, the 4th, on the tackle.
Yeah, that wasn't Prothro. That was 35 that time. Jared Mohammed, but they kind of run with a similar style.
They're from the same position of that fullback spot. Mohammed, a capable backup, ran for 343 yards a year ago. Following in the footsteps of his brothers Marty, Kyle, and Dylan, who have all worn that Mustang uniform. Mohammed stays in the game here for 2nd and 2, but Jenkins going to throw again. Wide open, Kyle Lewis. This time he has it, and Lewis inside the red zone, out of bounds at the 15.
Play action pass, got behind the corner. Corner came up, got behind the corner, hit Kyle Lewis down the sideline.
35 yards for a guy who led the Mustangs in receiving last year. We see a breakthrough moment for Jenkins on the 4th down conversion. Now maybe a breakthrough moment for Kyle Lewis, who's had a rough opening game of his senior year.
That's right. Right there, Abu came up and got beat on the perimeter.
So in the red zone, 1st and 10 from the Colgate 15, down 13 with under 9 minutes to go. Khalil Jenkins, the junior quarterback, Prothro back in the game behind him. It is Joe Prothro straight ahead, and boy, is he met by a swarm of Raiders. No gain. That's a rarity when Joe Prothro has the football.
Well, I'll tell you what, that Raider defense is really good. And if you've noticed, they have been really working on finding out where 37 is and going away from him. 37, once again, is playing to the field most of the time, and you can see a lot of Cal Poly's offense is being run into the boundary. Formation into the boundary, they're running away from 37.
And this time, Prothro on his 33rd carry of the night gets it down to the 14, but that's it. 3rd and 9 for Cal Poly. And down 13, a field goal isn't going to help you all that much here. Alec Wisniewski on that stop.
Yeah, they've got themselves into a bind here. It's still a 2-score game with a field goal.
They bring in the senior tight end, Reagan Enger, for an extra blocker on that left side of the line. He's a capable receiver as well. Got a couple balls last year. Lewis in motion. Lewis takes the pitch. Mortensen seals the edge, and then it closes as Hunt delivers another punishing blow to force 4th and long.
Ben Hunt the 4th. I'll tell you what, can he fill the alley? That is a textbook play. Watch him here as number 4 turns it up here. Kyle Lewis turns it up. Watch number 8 hit that alley. What a tackle. Great job. Great play.
Lewis has felt the receiving end of a couple of those missile plays from Hunt. As Cal Poly comes out for 4th and 11. Not going to take the 3 points with the field goal. The Mustangs will go for it. 4th and 11 from the 16 of Colgate. Play action for Jenkins.
There's the wheel route.
Wide
oh, my
open.
Goodness.
Lewis holds on this time. Touchdown, Cal Poly.
Got him on a wheel route down the sideline. That is just a break assignment. And I'm right next door to the Colgate box, and those defensive assistants upstairs are highly upset.
Tim Walsh says slot back is the most complicated position on his team. That's what Kyle Lewis plays, but nothing complicated about that. You see it almost slip out of his hands?
Yeah, it almost did. Took his eyes off it at the end.
Relief for Kyle Lewis and the Mustangs. And now the point after to get within 6. We're going to have some kind of finish here in what they call Slow Town in Central California.
Well, there's been nothing slow about this game as the clock is moving quickly.
Casey Sublette.
I've never been involved in a game that went this fast.
Well, you're not throwing it that much and you're grinding it out. You've got 2 teams that want it bad. It is moving. 7:07 to go. Kyle Lewis, the senior, a former Knight from San Marcos High School in San Diego, on the receiving end of his 7th career touchdown.
We got a game here, Paul.
Do we ever? Colgate 20, Cal Poly 14. To quote the great Pat Hill, we've got a ball game here in San Luis Obispo. Colgate's 20-0 lead is now just 6-14 on the board for the Mustangs, thanks to that resilient senior, Kyle Lewis, with the receiving touchdown, the first touchdown pass of Khalil Jenkins' career. But hey, how about tonight after Stanford and Rice get down under? Don't miss SportsCenter at night with Stan and Neil. They'll have all the best from college football. They'll have the little leaguers, the major leaguers, 10 NFL preseason games. Plus, there's a fight tonight, the latest on Mayweather-McGregor, and everything else. SportsCenter at night, also streaming live on the ESPN app.
That fight's been getting a lot of hype, Paul.
You used to be a boxer, didn't you?
Well, I just got hit a lot. That's not the object of the game.
Is that where "shut up and hit somebody" came from?
Hit somebody else.
Here's Abu Darami Soiree from his own 3-yard line, reversing field, and now he's got nowhere to go.
I'll tell you, this game has been physical. These 2 teams are very physical. Nobody's stepping off the line in this one. This team, nobody's really flinched in this one. Cal Poly was on the brink of maybe flinching at halftime, but they came back out in the second half and have gotten right back into this football game. Great coaching job by the Cal Poly coaching staff. This is a big series for Colgate. They got to find a way to start hitting the right gaps here with this gap read option here on this big drive in the second and the fourth quarter.
Randy Stewart, the Mustang safety coach, peering in as the Raiders take over. 1st and 10 from their own 17. The sophomore Carmine Scarfone out of the gun. James Holland Jr. with the ball again. Mazalewski there to meet him, along with Mielencone. It's a 2-yard gain to the 19, 2nd and 8. You talked about two inexperienced quarterbacks, Pat. Early on, it looked like Scarfone was the one with the poise under pressure, and now Jenkins starting to turn it on.
Well, Jenkins, started doing some things here in this fourth quarter where he finally kept the ball. That was a great pull on a fourth down. Fourth down calls with that kind of yardage are not easy calls in Cal Poly's offense.
Sophomore Alex Matthews in the backfield this time for Colgate. 2nd and 8 from the 19. Scarfone with the pitch. Matthews blasted as he gets past the 20. They mark him down at the 22. B.J. Nard, the 6th-year senior safety, on the stop. And a big 3rd down here for Colgate with that clock counting down toward the 6-minute mark.
Also, Mason Montgomery coming from the backside with his hair on fire making that hit. This is a big call right here. You got 3rd and 6. Huge call in this football game.
Call it officially 3rd and 5 from that 22 for Carmine Scarfone, the sophomore.
Carmine's looking at that outside linebacker playing halfway in between the receiver and the end man on the line of scrimmage. I think they're going to be optioning him some way. Also pointing at number 16, so they might be optioning one of those outside linebackers here.
Scarfone to Greenawalt, the juggle, and it's incomplete. Cam Dennis was right there for Cal Poly, and Colgate will have to give it back to the Mustangs with 5:41 to go.
Well, let's give credit to defensive coordinator Josh Brown. In this second half, they have really limited Colgate's offense, and they're really playing more inspired. The first half, they looked a little bit flat, but they are really playing well here in the second half on defense, and once again make another stop. So here we go. It's showtime, 5:41 to go. This might be the last drive of the game.
Well, the incompletion stopped the clock, and 5:41 is about an average Cal Poly drive with the football in the Mustang hands. Sarah to punt it away. Koski, another chance to return it.
Ooh, the umpire went down. Looked like he was going to make a hold call, but he got knocked down. He was looking at a play, and boy, did he get knocked off his feet.
And Koski called for the fair catch when he had a good cushion for the return. But it's going to be some kind of finish here in San Luis Obispo.
We got a barn burner, buddy.
To go.
Yeah, baby.
The hair was on fire. Now it's a barn burner.
Yeah.
20-14 Colgate in San Luis Obispo. All Colgate for the first 3 quarters. The fourth quarter belonging to the Mustangs, a 20-14 Raider lead. But we have seen quarterback Khalil Jenkins grow up, the president of his high school chess club, making all the right moves, Pat.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's been all Khalil Jenkins here. A pro throw just running the football, and then Khalil making the big plays right here on the wheel route. You know, that's big-time football play right there.
Khalil Jenkins, the 6'2 junior out of San Diego, started for the Lancers of Francis Parker High School. 2nd career start, his first in a couple years. Maybe shaking off some rust and nerves early. Just threw that first career touchdown to Kyle Lewis, but he needs one more to put this home team in front. 5:35 to go as the Mustangs get the ball on their own 32-yard line, heading toward the south end zone. And that Mustang Memorial Plaza right behind it that memorialized 16 Cal Poly players killed in that tragic 1960 plane crash. Something that's a big deal to this Cal Poly program.
All right, and there's a few of the survivors from that crash here at the game today. Carl Bowser is here. His grandson's playing.
Ted Tolman, who was a quarterback on that team, watches quarterback Jenkins give to Prothrow, carry number 35 on the day for Joe Pro, as his teammates call him. He's married with 2 kids, and he's going to be working hard on this drive, you imagine.
Well, I'll tell you what, when he gets home, I hope those kids aren't in a big mood to play, because he's going to be a little bit sore when he gets home. Papa might need to take a little time on the couch.
Well, his wife, Ashley, I'm sure, is cheering on right now. 5 minutes to go, fourth quarter, 2nd and 5. Prothrow again. Prothrow first down and more, out past the 45 to the 47.
They're working the heck out of that midline dive, and Prothrow's cutting it backside A-gap and getting some good yards. They're keeping that ball away from 37. That time they opened to him. They didn't work the ball down the perimeter to 37, but see him hit that backside A-gap. That's a nice cut there by Prothrow.
37 is the All-American defensive end, Pat Afriye for Colgate. Prothrow is the All-American fullback for Cal Poly, and he'll get a brief breather here. 1st and 10 from the Mustang 47. And this time Jenkins letting that play clock get down into single digits before the give straight ahead. That is Muhammad, and he takes it across midfield to the 46
Pick up
of
a
Colgate.
7. You know, everything's going away from 37 right now, which is probably pretty smart. We'll see where line up right now. 37's usually been playing the field backer for them, and we'll see what they do here. Right now, 37's a guy they're trying to stay away from as much as possible.
They run in Jake Smeltzer, the big wideout, as you look at the All-American Pat Afriye.
He's a good football player. I mean, a good football player.
Next level kind of guy. 2nd and 3 on the ground again, and this time Muhammad is drilled backwards after the gain of a yard. Let's talk about that guy, Pat Afriye. His defensive coordinator, Paul Schaffner, said he's the best NFL prospect he's seen in 17 years at this FCS level.
Well, I'll tell you who he reminds me of. A couple years ago, I had the pleasure of doing a North Dakota State game, and Kyle Emanuel played the same position for North Dakota State, was a down end. He's now an outside linebacker for the San Diego Chargers. I see this young man as being an outside linebacker at the next level that can also rush the passer, which is really something special.
3rd and 2. It's Prothro back in the ball game and moving the chains. A new set of downs at the 42 of Colgate as the Mustangs try to drive down, take the lead, and wind out the clock in the process.
I'll tell you what, this is a huge drive for Cal Poly, and I just wanted to throw this in there. I said it earlier about the cranes on campus at Colgate here at Cal Poly, the new Jones family locker room, the Dorr family new practice facility, a baseball clubhouse is going up. They are putting money into Cal Poly's program.
Joe Prothro again, his 38th carry of the night. Doesn't get much, but it'll take more time off the clock. It'll be 2nd and a long 9 as we're under 3 minutes to go in this 4th quarter. 20-14 Colgate, and Tim Walsh sweating this one out.
Well, he's got to feel good about his football team, the way they've come back in the second half. Not only his football team, but his coaches have made some great adjustments during this game. They've come back from really a pretty disastrous start, and this football team has really adjusted well on both sides of the ball. Very good job by the coaching staff and players.
2nd and 9 from the Raider 41.
Uh-oh, procedure penalty, a self-inflicted error right there.
Jenkins throws it away just to make sure nothing crazy happens. But
2nd and 14 now. God dang, those are the kind of penalties that as a coach, you said he was sweating? He's sweating really hard
Illegal
now.
shift. Offense. 2 men moving at the same time. Prior to the snap. 2nd down.
Well, we may have to see another senior, Kyle Lewis, get involved again. It's been an up-and-down day for Kyle, but, man, you look at what Prothro's done now, Pat. 38 carries, 138 yards. Talk about a workhorse. The most carries he had last year was 31.
Well, you know, Colgate came into the game saying they had to stop him. It has been a test of wills in this football game. Nothing has been easy up front for number 5, but he is a strong young man, and it's a tough call, 2nd and 14. You got 3 downs here, though.
And Prothro will take it on this one and doesn't have anywhere to go. Stopped at the 45-yard line. Going to be 3rd and 13 for Cal Poly. Both teams have all 3 timeouts remaining. Afriye had some help that time from the linebacker T.J. Hall.
Well, now it just changes everything for Colgate. They're making some substitutions. They do not have to think run first. They've got a chance here now. No play action should get by them. They should be in a lot better shape. They'll play a lot softer shell with their secondary. Safeties won't be involved as hard in the run. That was a big stop there for the Colgate defense. Really changes what you can do. They go to an even front 6-man box. They're playing nickel in here right now.
3rd and 13, Khalil Jenkins on the move. Jenkins looking pressured, has to throw it away, and the ball game is going to be riding on this next one. 4th and 13 from midfield. Pat, 1:34 to go. You have all timeouts. You could punt it away and try to stop them on defense, but it's a gamble either way, isn't it?
Well, I've done that before. I had 2 Wisconsin games back-to-back, and the first one I decided to punt it, and they made a play, and the second time I decided not to punt it. We couldn't make the play, so we had both of these situations before, but you know, right now the way Colgate does it, they've got 3 timeouts. I'd still have a chance here.
Well, 6 times Cal Poly has gone for it on 4th down. It's been a 50-50 shot.
This is a hard play call, though. They're using a timeout right here.
Because the play clock was at 0, and if they didn't, it would have been 4th and 18, and that's why Tim Walsh is so livid.
Well,
but it looks like this game is going to come down to a 7th 4th down attempt of the game for his Mustangs.
Yeah, and he's 50% on them right now. But, you know, 4th down calls are tough. You know, 4th and 14 is very tough here.
And we're going to find out when we come back. The game riding on this one. Colgate 20, Cal Poly 14. The finish right after this.
Look at this formation.
Here we go. These Mustang fans ready for 4th and 13 in a formation we haven't seen from Cal Poly, Pat.
Yeah. You know, we saw them the other day at practice. They were working on a few trick plays here. I wonder what they got up their sleeve here.
Jenkins surrounded by 3 backs. Jenkins steps up, pressured, throws on the run. Is it caught or not? They call it a catch at the 23-yard line for Jake Smeltzer.
That's an Edelman play.
Only 5 catches all of last year, and Smeltzer comes up with it.
4th down, another big 4th down play, and Smeltzer getting in on a dig route. Great job by Khalil Jenkins in the pocket, stepping up. Look at him step up in the pocket.
Game, huh?
37 can't quite get there.
And how about the adjustment by Smeltzer to reach behind and make sure Abu Darami Soiree didn't knock it away, and now Darami Soiree down on the field, shaken up after that play. That was probably the biggest pass of Khalil Jenkins' career so far, Pat.
Well, they've made some big plays here in the 4th quarter in the passing game. Cal Poly, I tell you what, that's what they've done in this 4th quarter. If they go on to win, it shows a lot of character and a heart, because Cal Poly in the first half was really not in this football game. The second half, they gradually got back into it. In the 4th quarter, they've made some huge 4th down plays. They've played well on defense the whole second half. You got to give a lot of credit to Colgate the way they played this game. These 2 teams have played their hearts out, but in the second half, Cal Poly has made a heck of a commitment, and if they can go on and win this game, I'll tell you what, that's going to be quite a boost for the rest of their season. A lot of character has been shown by this Mustang team in the second half.
And 4th down is a microcosm of the whole game. The first 3 4th downs that Cal Poly went for it, the Raiders stopped on them all 3. But now 4 in a row, 4 4th downs in a row.
And they haven't been easy 4th down plays.
1st and 10 from the 24. Minute 17 to go as Jenkins looks for the end zone, and J.J. Koski off the hands and incomplete. Tyler Castillo right there with him.
J.J. had his hands on the ball. That's a catchable ball right there. We've had some drops today. Go back to that earlier one early in the game, second half, right at the end of the half. Kyle Lewis dropping one.
Here's another look. Second and 10 from the 24.
I guess they just like 4th and long type plays.
I'm just wondering if it's going to come down to one more 4th down.
Oh, I think so.
Here's Kyle Lewis on the pitch. The senior with a flag down gets it inside the 20.
37's hurt. Might be a clip or a hold.
Tyler Wisenhunt looked like he got his hand caught in the cookie jar.
Flipping, number 60 offense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still 2nd down.
So 15 yards with 1:08 to go, and you saw Pat Afriye maybe cramping up. 2,500-mile trip and 80-degree day.
He got hit low, and that's what the clip was called on. I think it was called on whoever threw that low block on Afriye.
Yeah, Wisenhunt. Here you go, right
there. It is right there. They clipped him from the backside. I don't know why they make that a call. He's coming laterally down the line of scrimmage. Didn't look like he hit him in the back. Well, this is 2nd and a long ways here now. We got 2nd. Wow, it's a big penalty.
So now 2nd down from the 39. They need to get all the way to the 14 on 2nd and 25 with under a minute to go. Jenkins to a wide open J.J. Koski, who's down at the 22. Clock moving. Cal Poly has 2 timeouts left. Here's the look, Coach.
Yep. Very good protection. Boy, Koski's just got to keep his feet there.
But back where the ball was thrown, Pat Afriye, the best player on this Colgate team, is down, being attended to by the trainers. There's Pat. He's one of the 4 captains on this Colgate team, Pat Hill. And the way that Dan Hunt and his staff decided on captains this year is something that I've never heard of. You coached for more than 40 years. You ever heard of this?
I thought it was great. He made players apply for the job. And by applying for the job, they had to go through an interview process. They had to write a resume. And what happened is the team and the coaches ended up making a decision who was going to be the best players to be chosen captain for the football team.
And one of the things they said about that is sometimes the popular guys don't want to be the leader. So if you let them vote on it, it's different. But this was the job posting he put up.
Right, and only 10 players on the team, which that also speaks volumes. 10 gentlemen on the football team felt that they were good enough to apply for the position of team captain, and they asked for position, purpose, and summary, duties and responsibilities, working conditions, essential job functions, abilities needed, and they had to write down their summary to it, and they had to talk about it in front of the team and the coaches. And the team captains came out on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, on the defensive side of the ball was Wisniewski, safety number 34, and Pat, number 37. And then on the offensive side of the ball, the captain jobs went to Mark Hartzman and Ryan Polish, who we really haven't talked much about today as a two-time All-Patriot League tackle. Those are the ones that won the job interview.
But now Colgate's best player off the field in the most critical point of this game for that Raider D. 47 seconds left. 3rd down and 8 for Jenkins and the Mustangs, who have converted 4 straight 4th downs. Jenkins in the air, and is it trapped? Nope, it's in and out of the hands, incomplete. So you better believe it's going to come down to an 8th 4th down attempt of the game for Tim Walsh's Cal Poly Mustangs.
Wow. This game, once again, you got good protection. That ball's just a little bit underthrown, but it's on the outside half of the wide receiver, just a little bit low. Can't scoop it up.
Tyler Castillo made it a tough one, too, with his length extending. Timeout taken by that Colgate defense with 41 seconds left. So, again, all about 4th down. The first 3, Colgate stops. The last 4, Mustang conversions. But if Cal Poly's going to get a season-opening win and maintain that national ranking in the FCS, they're going to have to convert 4th down a 5th straight time.
Again, yeah, and it's not an easy 4th down. For the Cal Poly Mustangs, 0-4 record when trailing after 3 quarters, and that's this could be a breakthrough win for them, as they were definitely trailing after 3 quarters. This is a big play, but these 4th downs have not been easy 4th downs. The 4th downs they didn't convert on were 4th and 3 or less.
And that clipping call, huge on this possession to set this scenario up here.
I'd like to go back and get that on film, because it looked like it was a down-the-line clip. It wasn't from the outside in, it was from the inside out. It looked like a pulling guard coming out and just putting a low hit on number 37, Pat Afridi.
And they're still working the tape job on Afridi's ankle, so he is not on the field with the game on the line. 4th and 8 for Jenkins and the Mustangs. Khalil Jenkins, the junior, a bullet, and it's broken up. Abu Darami Soiree saves the day for Colgate.
What a play. What a play. And that throw was a heck of a football throw. It was a frozen rope, and Abu made a great play on the ball to knock it down. What a well-played football game. I know you got a winner, and Colgate did a great job, and a team that lost in Cal Poly, but give credit to both coaching staffs. These 2 teams played their hearts out today. This is 2 very well-coached football teams. I mean, these guys are well-coached. They play hard. Good football teams.
Koski was there, but Darami Soiree got to the ball first. The Colgate Raiders have the ball back. Cal Poly can only stop it twice with 37 seconds left.
Well, they'll need the ball, and then they'll be on a long flight back to Hamilton, New York tonight.
They came all the way from Hamilton, 2,500 miles, and absolutely they said, we are not throwing away this shot. A season-opening win over a nationally ranked Cal Poly team will have them going nuts in the streets of Hamilton tonight.
I'll tell you what, I've been on those plane rides back from the East Coast. We came back from Rutgers after a big win, and those plane rides are a lot more fun than coming home after a loss. So that plane tonight for Colgate will be jumping for about an hour and a half till the sun sets, and then it'll be a very quiet plane.
Will he take them to the beach, though? Dan Hunt said this is a business trip. Pismo Beach, Avila Beach, Morro Bay, they're all right around here.
They're going straight back to Santa Maria, getting on the plane and heading home. Cal Poly's going to be a good football team this year. Colgate, I think we're going to hear from these teams later in the year when it comes to playoff time. These are 2 very good football teams.
And there he is, Abu Darami Soiree, the Rookie of the Year last year in the Patriot League, and off to a stellar start as a sophomore. Another kneel down by Scarfone, and now Tim Walsh takes his final timeout with 30 seconds left. So one more kneel down will do it for Dan Hunt's Colgate Raiders. Coming up after this game is over, it's the Home Depot College Football Award Show. But look at Pat Afridi now, Pat. He wasn't on the field for that final stop, but his buddies sure lived up to it. Yep, that Home Depot College Football Awards preview show up next after this game wraps up. What a trip for the Colgate Raiders. What a reward.
Tell you what, though, I mean, I was really impressed with this football game. These are two hard-nosed, tough football teams, and well-played football game.
James Holland Jr. returns. The Raiders get a win for Carmine Scarfone in his debut. And look at Abu Darami Soiree, one excited sophomore with the game-deciding denial of Cal Poly.
Those two coaches meeting in the middle of the field. Both should be very proud of their units. That was a good football game. I've been around football for a very long time, and those are two hard-nosed football teams. A real battle today.
Maybe they'll both be in the FCS playoffs. Colgate with the victory, 20-14. For Coach Pat Hill and our entire crew, I'm Paul Leffler saying adios from San Luis Obispo. That final score, Colgate 20, Cal Poly 14. Watch this whole game on replay as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks. Go to watchespn.com or download the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.